It is funny you brought up the two different kinds of flight attendants because that is legitimately true.
Yeah.
Like some of them are happy they'll just have it waiting on me, and then other people they'll try to do like the drug dealer handshake with me. I'm like, brother, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not like I can't hide it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm skinny, I swear.
It's like this is a weight extender. It's not a modesty belt.
Yeah, like I don't give it.
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat.
Welcome to Unloading Meat, and as you can tell, I am a pro wrestling fan, and today on the podcast, I actually have a pro wrestler. Give it up for multi-time champ, the one and the only, Sam Stackhouse. What's up, Sam?
I'm happy to be here. Appreciate you.
Welcome for coming all the way to Bartlesville, man. Straight from the Golden Corral, Texas, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many chocolate fountains do you go through in a day?
Man, like 4.
Do you keep all the kids' hands out of it?
Oh, yeah.
This is my personal chocolate fountain?
It is. It's my home. I wake up, why are you people here? What are you doing?
We don't use baby oil for GCW. You just bring in your own chocolate fountain?
For sure. I'd probably be super over if I did that.
That would be. Well, over your glucose levels, diabetes.
Diabetes.
Thank you, Wilford. Diabetes.
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 Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
So, you got diabetes.
I've fought that off for a long time.
Work the leg, brother. Work the leg.
I wouldn't be able to feel it. So that's what
Yeah. Yeah, we're starting off hot on this. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate it.
So you were telling me off camera you're multi-time champ. You want to go ahead and go through what championships you currently hold?
Well, right now I got the Squared Circle Pro Championship from Lubbock, Texas, and the Heavyweight Championship for Colorado Wrestling Connection, Colorado Springs. I had a couple, like I was telling you, they haven't ran shows in a while, but I'm also the IHWE Heavyweight Champion, and I'm the World Class Wrestling Interim Champion.
Well, I will just say, shout out to those companies.
Right.
You need to run more because your champ is waiting. Okay, your champ is right here waiting.
Either way, I mean, it's fine. They look cool in the
Yeah,
closet,
it's cool.
They look cool just hanging on the little thing where clothes are supposed to go. But
Yeah. I mean, just jump on the bed once and you'll be reigning and defending.
that is true.
There you
That
go.
is true.
Just bust it out of the closet once. Jump on there with the kids.
Yeah,
Just go
I'll
off.
just make my own rules.
Yeah. So, man, how long you been in wrestling?
Shoot. October of this year will be 15 years since my first
Damn.
match, so a minute. Yeah.
Nice, man. I talked to you off camera just shortly. The first time I saw you was at GCW earlier this year in Arizona with Fuego. Shout out Fuego Del Sol too. You guys are doing some amazing work through them, man. I've been following you on Twitter, social media, stuff like that, or X if you're cool. I don't know.
I still call it Twitter. I don't. X is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X just feels like, I don't know, I don't have the powers and Charles is never going to come find me.
It's so
Like,
weird. Yeah, I'm not invited to that.
Elon just wants to be a mutant. I don't know.
That does make sense.
He
I
just
think
names his kids after him.
He might be actually. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that dude's from here or not.
Elon names his kids like a cat just walked across the keyboard.
That's probably what I mean. It might. It was like, what was it? But he said it like it's pronounced like a normal.
Yeah.
It's just spelled all weird. I don't understand.
Which means it's not pronounced all normal.
Yeah, it's like XE. He's like, no, that's Carl. That's not how you spell Carl, pal.
Well, it's like they always say, like, English is the hardest language to learn sometimes for like foreigners because of like all the slang and stuff we have. And I'm just like, show them Twitter.
Right? Yeah. Jeez.
Give them hashtags.
I mean, that's unfortunately how most people learn English.
That's
nowadays.
true. Yeah, I mean, I had a Spanish teacher told me that, like, he spoke no words of English, and he came up here and like the only thing he could order was Coke and Big Mac at McDonald's, and he didn't even like soda, but he drank it because that's the only thing he could order.
That's crazy.
I was just like,
I could
welcome.
not imagine.
Yeah.
Not imagine. Well, nowadays, I guess there's a whole lot more tools nowadays. If you move to any country, there's a lot more tools.
Yeah,
You just put your phone at somebody, and it'll tell you what they're saying.
I know. AI, Google AI, and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
I mean, and that, and like every single person under 30 right now has Babbel or something like that, or like something they're trying to learn in their off time to keep the depression at bay.
Learning languages would depress me more. So like,
I don't feel so empty now that I know Spanish.
This need more people to not talk to.
See, I thought that would happen when I said I was bisexual, and I thought that would happen. I'd get double the results on Twitter
now you
or on
just double the
Tinder.
sad.
No, just double the sadness and rejection. Every dude I match was just looks like this.
Yeah.
But somehow less and more threatening at the same time. How the fuck is that possible? So welcome to Unloading Meat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you been enjoying the time off? Because you just had a recent trip, weren't you? Were you just?
Yeah, I just got back. I just got back from Colorado. I was in Colorado all last weekend. I wrestled at Primo's in Denver on Friday. Picked up an extra show while I was there. Speaking of Unload Meat, that was a meat. There was over 1,000 pounds in that match. It was a big. I wrestled. It was me, and then this dude that used to play in the NFL, and then this other dude that's probably 280, 300, but he can do, like, you think I can do some crazy stuff. He can do some crazy stuff. And this Marlon Bishop dude used to be in the NFL and stuff, so it was a wild match. And then the next day, defended my Colorado Wrestling Connection title against Mikey O'Shea of TikTok fame. I'm sure a lot of people know he's the element of surprise guy.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he's got more followers than some signed wrestlers.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
you got wild.
You beat him though.
It's wild. I did.
So I mean, you had the element of surprise on him.
Yeah, he hit it on me, but he got a little cocky.
I have to also say, Black Hole Slam. Yep. I'm a fan.
Oh yeah.
Like anytime I see that move, I pop for it.
Yep.
When I'm like, because like. Not that I'm like dogging on anybody's work or anything, but sometimes you'll see like a wrestler and the finisher does not match them.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit. It's like when like Randy Orton was doing like the overdrive back in the day. Oh! That like swinging thing, like, they gave it to everybody.
Yeah.
Like how many people have that damn move?
Yeah.
But like it just didn't fit. But like I see you with like the Black Hole Slam, I'm like, oh yeah, that works. It works. The spinning, man.
Oh yeah. That's my jam. And I've hit some. There's been some stinkers. There's been some pretty ones. And I hit it right in front of Abyss one time, which was awesome because I was in a triple threat with him.
Oh yeah,
that was dope.
Did he approve? Did he?
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's my dog. He helped me a lot.
He's backstage at WWE still, right?
Yeah. I was his second to last match because he started with WWE 2 weeks after I wrestled him.
Wow,
yeah, that's my dude.
That's a homer, man. Oh, yeah. That's like when you hear about like some of those matches back in the day that like there was an indie match. It was like AJ Styles, Eddie, and I think it was like Ray or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like when Eddie was let go from WWE shortly.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did those get on the independent scene? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, Eddie was on the first Ring of Honor show.
Yeah, man. I'm so happy. Like, I mean, I'm happy that the brand's still going.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so much history there. There's so many, like, there's just so many people that go through Ring of Honor and everything.
Yeah,
GCW
so many
now.
That's wrestling. Yeah, because I feel like GCW is now like the new place where people go before that you see them on TV. You know, like there's a lot, and it's also their like their first landing spot when they get off of TV too as well. So
and it's like I can also like. Just bringing up, I'm not talking out of turn or anything like Fuego. Fuego was with AEW. They like went back to went to GCW and it was with you and stuff. And I see like a different version.
Yeah.
I see a more amped up Fuego. I see Fuego like kind of like unchained or like he's getting to do more freedom.
Yeah.
And I love that about GCW. I love the freedom that you guys have. I can obviously see you guys are having fun.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I've learned so much from just being there because a lot of those guys. I mean, those guys at GCW. There's dudes there that they do this. Like they do it every week. They're on the road every weekend. Like they're doing this crazy stuff. So and they're putting their bodies on like through crazy stuff every single weekend. So yeah, it's a dope place to be a part of and to be there with one of the best. Well, my best friend in this world right now, Fuego. Yeah, it's dope. It's super cool.
Yeah, man. Fuego, dude. Like I went through like Twitch and like I talked to him like a year or two ago, like when he was still with AEW and stuff, and like it was like around the time of his injury.
Yeah,
and like. Nicest guy, dude. Like to his fans, to everybody, like just like complete strangers, like just hopping in there. Hey, how's your day and everything like that. Like he goes out of his way to actually like give a shit. To his fans and stuff, and like I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People like you reaching out, like I latch on, and I know other people do, like Ethan Page and people that have these vlogs, or like you get to see like the person behind the gimmick, so to speak. Yeah. And see that they're not just, a corporate shell that, please buy this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, also, you want to buy T-shirts and stuff.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, available now.
But also, please buy these things.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy. But I got bills.
I can latch on to somebody, like, even, I will say this, and maybe this is controversial, but, like, I can latch on more to Fuego, seeing fully Fuego. And him outside than I can just, like, the shorter matches he was available on.
For
like,
sure.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, because, he knows it too. Everybody
Yeah.
knows it. He didn't get a lot of time to show what he can do, and he's one. And
But he treated with class.
He's an incredible professional wrestler. He can he can have a good match with anybody. So it's unfortunate he didn't get the time, but I mean now he's
Good things are coming to him, dude. He's doing the work.
He's a couple hours from now he'll be hopping on an airplane going on his way to London. So,
he's doing the tour. Yeah,
he leaves today.
it's 1:30 right now.
So I think his plane leaves at like 4:45 or something like that. So just he's
shout out to Fuego. Good luck, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's gonna be gone for 3 weeks. I don't know what I'm gonna do. My wife asked me if I was gonna miss my husband. I was like, yes, it's good because like dad over there and everything's gonna be expensive. So he's not even gonna be able to we ain't gonna be able to play nothing. Like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next 3 weeks.
Okay, so he said playing, so I got to bring it up. What do you play?
Well, me and him play. We play FIFA, play Warzone, Rocket League mainly. Lots of Rocket League recently, but I like Warzone. I play a lot of Warzone, Madden, FIFA. That's pretty much it. So we do like community night sometimes. We play Among Us and everything with fans and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. And what's that little game where you knock each other off? You're like little egg people.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, we play that sometimes too. That's the only time I only play that with him. But yeah, I'm mainly Warzone, Madden, and FIFA. Those are my favorite, and Rocket League.
I will say that is the scariest collaboration I've ever seen. Is the Fall Guys Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
It's creepy as shit. Like having an egg, like goth egg.
It is.
With a trench coat.
And then I like simulator games too. So when I'm by myself, Fuego makes fun of me all the time because if I don't answer my phone, he knows it's probably because I'm playing like car mechanic simulator. I've got like the full setup flight, like the little yoke thing
for flight simulator.
Yeah. I've liked those since I was a kid. I don't know what it is about them.
Have you played Power Washing Simulator?
I have. I'm all the way up. I beat the SpongeBob extra, the DLC. There's a Tomb Raider DLC, and then there's like a Star Wars one, or not a Dune one. I beat all of them.
See, everybody, wrestlers come in every shape and size.
I'm already ahead of it.
So what were some of your wrestling inspirations growing up? I mean, obviously Bam Bam.
Yeah.
I love your tribute attire that you've had in some of your videos, and obviously you wear it a lot. You wear tributes to Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Abyss, obviously, with the black hole.
My first favorite wrestler ever was Jeff Hardy. That's who I saw. Like the first wrestling I ever saw was ECW. Like the first pay-per-view I watched, the full pay-per-view was an ECW show in like 2006, 7. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And then I went to like some live shows when I was a kid, but they were like it was like OPW or something. They had the indoor fun fair in Tulsa back in the day, and I went there. But yeah, my first favorite wrestler was Jeff Hardy. And then obviously once I found that, and once I started watching wrestling more, I dove into it. And then I found Bam Bam and Vader. And what is it? Big Boss Man. I found all the big guys. Umaga is probably my all-time favorite wrestler.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that name.
Umaga, and then obviously Abyss, Samoa Joe. I'm basically, if you watch me wrestle, I'm basically just if Abyss and Samoa Joe had a baby. And like with a little bit of Bam Bam in there, that's me.
As William Regal called him, Umanga.
Yeah. Umanga. Yeah, that's my
Umanga.
Because probably my top match of all time is him and John Cena from Royal
great.
Rumble. It's my favorite match.
It's freaking
I love
great.
that match. Yeah.
I liked his matches with Jeff Hardy too.
Oh yeah.
The one with off the semi and stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like dude would go barefoot and go wild. Like Umanga matches. Oh yeah. Now it's gonna be Umanga.
Yeah.
It's always thanks to Regal.
I'm like this. It's like this. The life I get to live now is so wild because Umaga is like legitimately my favorite, probably my top favorite wrestler in the world, and I'm like friends with his son now, that's crazy to me. And Jacob Fatu is one of my best friends too. So like
that was a killer match too, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, definitely Umaga is up there. Bam Bam, Vader, all the big boys, and then Jeff Hardy's up there.
Well, like I say it all the time, and I'm so happy to have you here because I'm starting out with the stand up again, and I'm going to the podcast stuff like that. But I say it all the time that I really pattern my stand up career after pro wrestling and independent pro wrestling. I see a lot of similarities between what I do and what you guys do. Just without the bumps.
Yeah. And I've been saying that for years. Like it's the same with stand up comedy or like people who are out there like opening acts for music bands and everything. Because you're your own person. Like you make your own merch. You got to sell your own merch. You got to get your own gigs. You got to do all your own stuff.
Yep.
And like all it takes And I guarantee there's probably comics out here that are funnier than the people that are making movies right now, and nobody knows who they are. Yeah. It's the same thing at wrestling. There's wrestlers I see wrestlers every week that could beat people on TV or be better than people on TV, and it's the same thing. All it takes is the right person to either see or hear you, and then then you can go to the stars as soon as the right person. It just takes the right person seeing you.
It's having the determination to do the grind, do the work, and make your own luck as far as being ready for any opportunity.
Oh yeah. Yep.
As soon as you get an opportunity, just nail it out of the fucking park.
Yep.
Just be
And
ready.
That describes everything that's happened to me. Because before, I mean, like I've been wrestling 15 years, and that's only been the past like 2.5, 3 years. That because really 2021 was when when everything started to go crazy, and like I'd already been wrestling for what 12 years at that time. So, it's just about being in the right place at the right time. And I had like. I always tell people I get lucky, and Fuego always reminds me that I didn't get lucky because like like I got lucky in the sense that like the right person saw my clips, but he always reminds me that because I forget sometimes that like I'm still the one in the clips that did the thing in the first place and made sure that they saw it and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I got extremely lucky. I got like the right people saw my clips, and then now this is my job.
Yeah, it's all building towards something.
Oh yeah.
Just keep going. Keep everything. I had another comedian named Matt Lewis from California come in here, and he like not on name dropping, but like. He said, like, everything is a brick in your path. He goes, even this podcast, it may be a small brick, but it's a brick on my path.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, and it's all building towards something. Just keep going. And you're in control of that. And then I also say the whole time is, like, always control your own narrative. Like, be your own narrator. Because if you don't, somebody's going to fill in those blanks.
For sure.
Like, be your own self-promoter. Yeah. With social media and all that stuff. Oh, God, yeah. No, like, I see a lot of similarities, man. Like, you're truly an inspiration, man. Not just because, obviously, Hercules. But, lift and separate. Yeah. No, man, it's an inspiration because like 14, 15 years ago, I told it on the podcast before, I tried stand-up comedy. Yeah. Looney Bin in Tulsa, tried like 2 times, and the guy that was the host of the time said, hey, you're banned.
Dang.
And I told a joke. It was basically, like Jesus was a carpenter, right?
Yeah.
I said, like, what if he was up there and he's like, damn it, I got a splinter. Who the fuck made this? And like he was like, hey, you're banned.
Yeah.
And so I was devastated because at the time, 15 years ago, Looney Bin was the only club in Tulsa.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So it was that, and then going to Oklahoma City and Kansas City. That was it for comedy in the Midwest. And now there's like 3 more. I don't know. But I gave up for like 14, 15 years. Had a family, 2 divorces, 2 kids. And then I got the itch again after my second divorce, and COVID trying to change me.
Yeah.
I'm sure it affected stuff with you.
Yeah.
And it kind of just put everything in motion. I paid off my house, paid off my car. And I was like, I got to start going for this again.
Yeah.
It's what makes me happy. And so I just built this and just never looked back.
This is incredible.
Thanks, man.
Super cool.
I said it off word. It's called divorce. But yeah, it's like, this was all from COVID too. Like, I flipped figures for a living during COVID. Because I worked like almost 10 years in cell phones. That's what paid for everything. I was T-Mobile, DM, working through like Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas. And I got fired like right when COVID started. And so I found out that like all the coastal places like LA, New York, they had all these like, limited edition figures. They're sold out everywhere and nobody's going out because of COVID.
Yeah.
But here in Texas and Oklahoma, they're just
probably
overflowing.
Yep.
So I would buy like 3 or 4 of
Wow,
everything.
that's smart.
And I was paying my bills like that through COVID. And it kind of
smart.
built this. I'd keep 1 and sell 3.
That's awesome.
And it just built all this. And yeah, it just kind of just slowly over time. And then like as I was trying to figure out a podcast studio, I was like trying to figure stuff out. I was like, you ever see Zach and Miri make a porno?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that scene where like the Star Wars set blows up?
Yeah.
And they're like, what are we going to do? And he's just kind of sitting there around the coffee shop. And he's like, there's all this set design already here. That's what happened here.
They go on the beam.
This was just divorce. This was just, depression. I need a hobby. Yeah. And then it was like, hey, I think this will be a good chopping off point or starting off point for a podcast. Yeah. Cool. It was intentional. It's not depressing.
Yeah. This is I got. The COVID pretty much happened the same for me. I got laid off like 3 weeks before COVID started, so like it was a scary time. But then it ended up working out because I still haven't had to go back to drive because I was a truck driver before that, and I got laid off right before that, which it was actually a blessing in disguise because doing what I was doing, I would have been elbow deep in COVID every day because I took the dirty sheets and linen and gowns and stuff from the hospital.
Oh yeah,
and brought them back down here so they get clean, and then took clean stuff back. So they were supposed to be in bags and all kinds of stuff, but they never were. The stuff was
not just because of your size. You'd be called a super spreader.
Oh, I definitely would have. I would have had to live in a hotel. I wouldn't have been able to go home or anything. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise, but it worked out. And then like I said before, like in the middle of COVID was whenever the social media stuff started kind of go crazy. Yeah. And it worked out.
Dude, it's like, again, it's inspirational, man, because like you're doing the work. You're obviously very talented. Dude, like seeing your spin kick. Holy shit. Or what's the technical term for it? What your
spinning heel kick.
Spinning heel kick, yeah. But yeah, dude, it's
That's all
impressive.
because of I didn't start doing that till I did that right after I started, or I saw the Umaga match. That's the only reason I started doing that, because he hit it in that match with Cena.
Yeah.
And I started doing it after that.
And then like of course I've seen you like the viral clip of you going through the ring. Next, I'm waiting for a black hole slam through the ring.
That'd be dope. We should. Well, I couldn't pick that man up, but
I'm waiting for that. That would be a viral clip. A black hole slam through the ring.
It would be.
Oof.
It'd also be very scary.
It'd be very scary. But then also, like, I love the ingenuity of you using your size with Fuego, like him doing the moonsault off your chest.
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and.
So I gotta ask, how does that feel personally whenever he's doing that? Not good.
I mean, no, it's not. He's. I mean, he's.
I'll put it up in post. But like,
he's not a very large man. Okay, so it wasn't that bad.
It's a great spot. Like, I just love that because like those are the spots. Like, not that like it was attention spans. I mean, I face it the same way with comedy. Like, you're always fighting attention spans. You're always fighting. Like, I've seen it. Yeah. So to see stuff like that, there's little clips that are just like, man, I haven't seen that before, and stuff like that. You brought it up before, like everybody. There's so many talented people you haven't heard of and stuff. One thing that comes to mind is like everybody that brings over like Japanese finishers and stuff like that. And like it comes to like, I'm not bashing WWE reason, but it comes to like the American markets and people are like, wow, that's so innovative. It's like, well, they've been doing it for 5 years,
forever.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, like as a wrestler over here, that kind of it works in my favor sometimes because I watch a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
So I try to find stuff from places that people aren't going to see, and then and that's also the reason why me and Fuego just get along, because we both like we're not all about me specifically, I'm not about like just every match being perfection on stuff. I'm more about creating, like, I want to be remembered. I want to make a moment and everything.
Yeah.
So I've always been like everywhere I go, I can do cool moves and stuff like that. Yeah. But I also try to make like I said, memorable moments, like with the ring breaking and like with the first clip that went viral was me going over top rope through the putting that dude through the door or through the table and all that stuff. Like I've always
I watched your entrance video too.
Yeah. I try to come up with different things to do, you know. I feel like that's all, especially because of attention span.
Yeah.
Because I know me, like I don't like I watch a lot of wrestling, but it's very hard for me to just sit down and watch an entire wrestling show now.
Yeah.
Even and I love wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's still hard to just watch through the stuff, because nowadays I'm still able to watch some wrestling as a fan, and other times like I can change what I'm watching. Like if I'm watching WWE, if I'm watching pay-per-view, I'm sitting down, have a couple drinks or smoking with friends or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in fan mode. I'm not. If someone slips, I'm not like, oh, did you see that? I'm not critiquing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, did you see him talking? I'm not doing that stuff. I'm just watching. But like if I'm watching just an independent show, then I'm more nitpicky and I try to find like different things. But like I said, the attention span stuff kind of helps out, because I can find stuff. I can watch like an independent show from Japan. Yeah. And like that's something that no one's ever seen over here. Then I can do it over here. I can tell Fuego to, or I can show one of my other buddies that can do it. Yeah. And then they can give the fans over here a moment. So it's dope.
How does that? I mean, not to break kayfabe or something like that, but like, how does that work as far as like doing someone else's move or something like that? Like, say you're in the same territory or same area and stuff like that, and you have a similar move or something like that. How does that work as far as like feeling that out? Is it first come first serve, or
I mean, really, yeah, it really depends on what it is. Like, I'm not huge. I'm like, it doesn't bother me, because like I've had people around here that want to use a black hole slam, and they'll come and ask me and everything like that, and I'm like, brother, I was like, just like as long as it doesn't like, as long as it's like terrible, like don't make us both like, if you do it well, if two people do the same move, they both do it well, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. But, like obviously, if someone's gonna come to me do the black hole slam and I see him do it and it's the worst black hole slam I've ever seen, I might feel a little certain way about it, but I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna worry. It's wrestling at the end of the day. We're not on TV. No one. It's not that serious. Obviously, if I'm on TV, they're not like I guarantee they have rules about that. Like you don't see very many people do cutters. Yeah. Like except the main, like there's 2 or 3 people who mainly do cutters, because that's their thing.
Even AEW's toned it down a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
because those are people's moves. Like that's, but like on this level, it's not that big a deal. Yeah, I've told people if they can do it better than me, then they can have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like whenever I saw Logan Paul do the buckshot.
Buckshot.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, Damn.
Yeah, he's got it.
Did it better than Punk.
Yeah, he's got it. Well, that's, I mean,
Not
that wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
You know? You just kind of got to fall in.
I have his autograph right there.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I have the Punk autograph from the match when he shit his pants.
Oh, nice. Hey.
It was a BOK Center.
Oh, I didn't know that was here.
It was BOK versus
snap.
Moxley. Well, Ambrose at the time.
Yeah.
It was Punk versus Ambrose on a SmackDown. And he shit his pants because he had the flu.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So, that was at the merch
and
table.
I can attest those Z-Packs are no joke.
So like I have 2 wrestling autographs. Well, hopefully I'll have a third after today. But I have Balor and I have Punk over there.
That's dope.
Then I have like a signed Eddie Kingston too. Because I'm a big Kingston guy. I love Eddie. But again, I love people that make you feel. I love people I can get attached to. That
You know who Eddie doesn't love his knee. That's who he does.
Oh man, that move.
Brother.
What was his name?
I don't know who the dude who did it to him was, but that.
Oh. There was no way to take that safely.
No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
no. That was because I was.
Yeah,
Just
you
gonna
were
say,
there.
I don't know what he was expecting. Was like.
Yeah.
That was just brutal. No matter
The
what.
leg on the guardrail, man. Like
Oh.
it's just
I imagine he didn't meant to catch like more ankle instead of just wrap his whole thing around. Oh my goodness.
Well, it's just like, I mean, you could have tested like the space between the ring and the guardrail, man, is very
well, yeah. I don't,
depending on the show.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they just had the table between the two, right? And it spanned the way, so it couldn't be that far away. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a bump. That's a bump, boy. He's gonna feel that one for a while.
And then Darby coming back,
brother.
from getting hit by a bus.
I don't know how this man's still alive. Like I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a super like he gonna move. You need to move him from that side to that side.
Yeah,
because he's more powerful than some of these people over here. Because I don't understand. My man taking all them bumps. Takes a bump. Probably got saved from. He was about to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Jeez, he was just gonna become like, you know how they have like the bodies are like checkpoints up there.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, you just turn left at Darby Allin.
Just a skateboard stuck in the sides.
Just turn left at Darby Allin and you're almost there.
One wheel spinning slowly. Signed by
Like,
Sting.
that dude's wild. I don't understand.
Well, it's like that was the closest in my mind AEW's come to like the Cena Royal Rumble return pop, where you didn't expect it for for months, and then he comes out and you're like, how the hell is he here?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, jeez. That's so. I don't know how he's alive.
Yeah.
It seems like the world is trying to kill that kid. I don't know.
and then
he's
Tony
just
Hawk and everybody's like, bro.
And he's just like, all right. Shoot. I saw a hilarious meme the other day. It was, like the beginning of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
When homie's all like jacked up and he's trying to get out of the hospital bed.
Yeah.
It was like Darby Allin when TK calls him and says he needs us for a match. I laughed for like 10 minutes because I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. He's just like, like rolls into the arena.
I saw one on Reddit that was like, Darby said he was last minute cleared on that Wednesday. And it was like, Darby, I need it cleared. Dr. Darby, you're cleared.
Yeah. Signed Dr. Darby. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine. That man is crazy.
Get him some kinesio tape.
Man, he's gonna be. That's basically gonna be his friggin' blood type soon. He's gonna be more KT tape than anything. It's wild.
Mine's just maple syrup.
That sounds good though.
Yeah,
I do like maple syrup.
I
I
do
just found
too.
a new brand I like. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Oh,
That has nothing to do with anything. But
I just distracted
I know,
the food.
I'm hungry.
I cast distraction.
But no, I can't believe that dude's still alive because that bump he took at that last pay per view was insane.
Yeah,
Like the glass, I don't even care about the glass.
Yeah.
That's the glass was. I mean, it cut him up pretty bad. Just the bump part of it was. Well, I don't care what you landing in or on. That was insane.
yeah.
Like his insides have to be just scrambled.
Well, then like what was it, the coffin match with Ethan Page and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah,
some
I
of those
would
are just
need-
like,
I think like a year to recuperate after and he's just like 2 weeks later he's ready to jump off of something else.
Like I remember watching Ethan Page after that on his vlog, like when he took that bump, like when he's in the coffin, he's like, I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the smash.
Just to crush it. Yeah.
Like, it's
That
gonna
had
suck.
to be so nerve wracking. Yeah, dude. Ugh. That's the weirdest thing about wrestling sometimes because like we're like literally laying there knowing this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
And you just have to lay there, and then like you have to let everybody know it sucks while not letting them know it sucked too bad.
Yeah. We don't want to go Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, he was asleep for half of it. Just kidding, love you, Rick.
At least he's woo energy.
Yeah, man survived a plane crash, but
Yeah.
passed out they said he was passed out like 3 or 4 times during that match. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was only his first
He
plane
wasn't
ride
even
from
awake
hell.
for the finish, bro.
Only his first plane ride from hell.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Literally. Jeez.
Ding dong.
I can't imagine.
We can move on from that topic.
What a time to live back then, though. Like that stuff must have been crazy. Because if we're told about that, like that plane ride, what about the ones we haven't been
I
told?
know.
Like, oh my gosh, dude. I can't imagine.
It's like for every time that there was a world champion on a house show or something like that we didn't get to see, or a Dusty with a championship that didn't count. How many of those plane rides?
And back then they didn't even lock the pilot's door. So how many times these dudes just in the front of the plane, just at 30,000 feet, just going crazy.
I did love that the show Heels redid it immediately.
Oh,
They were like, hang it from the walk out.
I like that. I knew because then they did the new season, right? And there's a few episodes I haven't watched because I watched like the first two episodes of the new season, but I haven't finished it.
I watched season 1. I know season 2. I didn't have stars, and then I heard they were trying to shop it around because it got canceled.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring it to stars.
I watched like the first 2 episodes of the new season, but I haven't watched past that. That was one of the most relatable shows I've ever watched in my life. I was like, oh my god, I was like, this is my life right now. What is happening?
Because even like
I felt attacked. I've never felt so attacked and so represented. Like I've never felt so attacked and so represented at the same time.
every episode, I just want to be held.
Yeah, like I was like, oh god.
Damn you, Duffy Federation. It's like, no, like I was wanting to ask, like even from a non-wrestler, like that show, like wrestling and pop culture. Every time like somebody is coming on or doing like an appearance like that, it's weird. Yeah. It's usually they go into the cringe, or they always ask like the fake question or something like that. Or you have like the slapping the reporter as Dave Schultz.
Oh jeez, is this fake to you, boy?
Yeah. I mean, even here, I was waiting for you to get here, and I was like, is this going to be like one of those times where like Undertaker's like interviewing with like Regis and Kelly or Regis and Kathy Lee, where he's totally in character?
Have you watched his podcast now? It's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I watched because he had Mark Henry on like last week, and I watched it just yesterday. It's the first time I'd watched like his podcast, but I was like, this is weird. I don't know if I like it. I like my Undertaker in character. I don't know.
It's like when you get a certain age and you realize that your parents still fuck.
Yeah, because I don't like I don't like my Undertaker talking about going to the strip club. I don't like that. Hashtag not my Undertaker, pal.
He's giving you the best, recipes for Tombstone pizza.
Yeah, I don't need all, and he's doing commercials. He's like Alpha Brain. I'm like, no.
Well, I mean, Hulk Hogan has shrooms, brother.
Rest in peace, or just golly.
Hulk Hogan.
Alpha Brain will not make you rest in peace.
Hulk Hogan's doing like weed and psychedelics now.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
If Undertaker had a weed, I'd definitely smoke it.
I would smoke it.
For sure.
Dead Man blunts? Oh,
For
man.
sure. Dead Man Inc.
Oh.
He needs to get in on that. He's missing out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if they legalize it in Texas, then he'll hop on that.
I still think it's a missed opportunity. Every podcast should start out instead of the gong, and she could go back to that like the American Badass, like the "You've done it now." Yeah. Like when he lost the Kid Rock and he lost the Limp Bizkit, and they're like, "We need Jim Johnson to pull out something else. Give us something."
And they got rid of him too.
Yeah,
wild. All of my favorite music, like it's wild. Like a lot of my favorite tunes from my childhood are either made by that dude or Jimmy Hart. Yeah, because Jimmy Hart used to make all the music.
It's
he
crazy.
Still gets paid for making
music's important, man. Yeah. It sets the tone. I mean, even for like what I do. Oh, yeah. Like I tell people, like, dude, can we have some music coming up? Like it sets the tone. Like even if somebody has a good set or a bad set, music in between helps me reset the focus and like, hey, start fresh.
Oh, yeah. That's part of what helped me take off too. Is that when my homeboy Starks, follow him on Instagram, made my entrance music, like that set me way apart, and like everybody gets into it, and I think sometimes I honestly think the song is more over than I am.
That's how I felt when I do my live shows.
Well, there'll be people that'll get mad if they play like the wrong songs. I had an old custom song, and I got this new one. And like, there's people that'll get mad if they play the old, if they actually play the old one. I'm like, hey, that's above my pay grade, pal. Don't get mad at me.
I have my theme song that I have for my Unloading Meat brand, and it's a rapper I got on Fiverr. Stones Mayo, shout out. Great guy. I've done like a couple themes with him, and I've wrote the lyrics. Like I technically have written 2 rap songs.
Nice.
But it's like I'm the whitest dude ever writing for a black dude. Like to sing, I'm like, make it blacker. Like sing it.
He did it all. He did it all for me because he had like he had already made like some like wrestling themed raps and stuff like that. And he made me. It's cool. Like it's got 2 verses. And he made me a new one too. It's like a heel song.
There
too,
you go.
I haven't used it yet, but it's pretty cool too.
Are you gonna drop the hair if you go heel?
I don't Oh, I've worked hard for this.
No, I mean like lower it. Like, lower it.
I don't know because I only have this man bun because I got a bald spot. And if I put so because I got tired. That's the only reason I grew my hair out anyway. So I got tired of seeing on the camera. I could see that bald. Nobody else ever pointed out. Nobody else ever was like, what? I'm like, nah, but I can. That's the only thing I could see. So
it's like watching
if
Cena
anything,
come
I'm
back
just
now.
gonna make the man bun bigger and be a bigger douche.
Well, like if it was like a month earlier, I would have been matching man buns with you. I had mine. You can see it in my merch and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Available now.
That thing is cool. That design is dope.
This is my current one.
Yeah, that design is dope.
Yeah, it's just kind of iterations. Like season 1, every season I printed out a new one and got a different logo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Season 1, I didn't even have ears.
I see that. Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I launched a production studio behind it. That's what kind of pays the bills while I do the podcasting and comedy.
That's dope.
And just try to do all at once because I'm pretty handy at Photoshop and editing and stuff like that. So, and then my first client was Josh Wolf, the comedian. Just came in here and was doing a podcast or needed a studio while he was doing a show at Kane's Ballroom. And I was like, hey, come on over.
That's
and
awesome,
so got to do that and I launched the studio. So it's just like little things, little opportunities, man.
You never. I've been in cards with people, and I've got like people's phone numbers and talked to people and emailed people that I never thought that up like 2 years ago I would have had to pay to even like meet.
Yeah.
And now like I'm on like first name basis with them and stuff. It's wild.
Yeah.
I got an email from Jeff Jarrett. That is crazy.
That's
to me.
freaking cool.
That's wild. That's so crazy. And like I said, a couple years ago, I would have had to pay to meet him. And like, there's all, I've talked to people the past few years. Like, I always tell people I'm still like processing, like, I'm about 2 years behind on processing things that have happened.
Yeah.
Because I'm still at the Hammerstein too. Like 2 years, like I'm still wrestling Cardona for the GCW title.
There you go.
Like I haven't even processed all the stuff that's happened. It's been a wild few years.
Can I just say, like, dude, like hopping on the Jeff Jarrett email, like, has there been a guy that has like refreshed his reputation and career more than Jeff Jarrett in his later years?
Because
like there was he had a certain reputation. People were like, "Oh, I have Jeff Jarrett." Certain people didn't like Jeff Jarrett's character from TNA days.
Yeah.
But like since like the post WWE coming back to the, like AEW and stuff like that, and like the things he's been doing with like Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal and stuff like that, everybody's like, damn, he's freaking talented.
Oh, yeah.
He's freaking cool. It's kind of like it's like rebuilt his reputation so much. Almost like with the public eye, or like just the non I don't want to say like the most educated fans.
Yeah. I think they've seen that I think they've realized how good of a businessman he is. So that character, whatever they didn't like, I think they finally realized that's what it was. It was a character. Like he wasn't really like out to bury the plays doing.
It was the early Impact TNA days where Jeff Jarrett was in there a lot.
Yeah,
it's kind of like when Vince was shoving Robot down our throats, or Cena early days.
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
like if you're making TV. And like obviously, me personally, it would be opposite. But if you have to pick between putting Jeff Jarrett on TV and shoving him down the throat, or AJ Styles, or like the X Division, you're gonna pick Jeff Jarrett every single time,
Yeah.
So like I get it, but
it's even like it's kind of like the Howard Stern thing, where like even if it's controversial or you hate it, the number one thing they say is like, I want to see what he says next.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see what happens next.
Yeah, because you're tuning in, and that's at the end of the day, that's all the TV people care about. As long as you're watching it, they don't care if you like it. Like hate watching counts as a view, just like watching it does, or whatever.
Yeah. Up next, the Joe Schmo show on Spike TV, which I need to bring that show back. That was a great show. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I saw clips and stuff of it, but I haven't.
That like had so many comedians back in the day that just like playing undercover things. But, like, if you never saw it, I'm gonna have to put some in post. Like Joe Schmo show was like The Bachelor or Bachelorette, but everybody in on it, everybody and the whole thing, production wise and the cast, are actors except for one guy. And he thinks it's real, and they are just testing the limits every week of how far he can take it and how much they can fuck with this guy.
What? Matt? What is going on? What is going on?
Yeah, did you see that person they were talking about in Japan or whatever country it was, where they just made a Netflix special about it? I haven't watched a Netflix special about it, but I heard about it a long time ago. Like they locked him in a room for like a year. And he had no idea that like he became like the most famous person in the country for a little bit, and he had no idea. He thought it was all real. Like he thought he was being tortured for real. Like they starved him.
Really?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden one day they just drop the walls down and he's like surrounded by people, and it's so crazy.
How is this legal?
Yeah.
Like, how is this legal?
Yo, it's so crazy.
What kind of waiver do you have to sign? Literally, I want to get that waiver.
And then they got him again. Like a few months later, they snatched him up again. But yeah, so they made a whole little a Netflix thing about it recently. But
I mean, they
watched a
could
podcast.
they
about
could
it
do
back
that in
then.
Oklahoma. Just you give them meth.
Just
Like,
for real, yeah, they'd be happy to stay in there. Just starve them and feed them meth. It'd be fine.
just give them meth and Sonic.
Yeah,
give them a
man.
Sonic gift card for some chili cheese conies.
I could go away for about 6 months, come back skinny as hell.
Yeah.
Have
I
a
mean,
little addiction to kick, but I'd be skinny as hell.
I say that now, dude. If you ever want to spike a promoter's interest and see if they actually are paying attention or a booker, just mention that all proceeds go to charity.
Yep.
Oh, you'll get them listening.
Oh, for sure.
So, like, in the middle of my act, I have this thing now, because I sell merch and stuff, too,
Yeah, right.
where I'm like, I just want to take this time to let you guys know that all proceeds tonight from merchandise go to a local charity. And I can see the booker go, what the fuck? And I go, yeah, it's a great cause. It's the Jared Ralphie Allen Ozempic Fund. Great cause, good cause. And, dude, like, the anxiety just spikes every single time.
Like, whoa.
Ozempic will get cheaper eventually. There's hope for us yet, man.
I'm not a rich white lady, so it's out of my price range.
Yeah, me too. But you know what's not? The biggie meal at Wendy's.
No, not at all. Yeah. Well, nowadays it's getting there.
I know, shrinkflation
Good
too, man.
Lord, man.
The funniest shrinkflation thing I've seen so far is I did a show last month at Go Theater in Broken Arrow, and the dude was putting batteries on the wireless mics. And they kept disconnecting. And I'm like, why are these disconnected? They're brand new batteries. We're pulling them out of the pack. He was getting Dollar Tree AA batteries.
Oh, no.
And compared to a Duracell,
Yeah.
they were like that much shorter.
Yeah.
Like they're shrinking the batteries down so like they jingle into the spots.
Crazy.
And I was like, these aren't technically AA's. They're like in the middle.
They're like 2.5 A's.
Yeah, they're like 2.5
Double and a half.
Yeah, they're like 1 3/4
Yeah,
A's.
they're like AA and then one like the triple A's are smaller.
Yeah.
That's it's like AA and then a triple A right there. Double A to the A power. That's
Yeah,
what
it's just
it
Hunter
is.
Hearst, not Hemsley.
Double H.
Too much
That's
R, not
wild,
enough
yeah,
Anderson.
that's wild, man. I bet them batteries, you just turn it on and things is drained.
Yeah.
Because I use those in my kids, because my kids homeschooled. I use those in her pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
And they I have to trade them out every couple weeks.
Yeah.
In the pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
That she uses like 3 times. And
Like
then it's dead.
I'm sure cost and savings. You're like you kind of like value like if there's something that's really expensive, you're like
Yeah.
I'm gonna put good batteries in that.
Yeah.
If it's like a cheap Dollar Tree toy or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
it can go with the cheap batteries. I don't care because it's gonna go in the trash
that's why I
eventually
put it with
anyway.
the pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
I don't care about that thing.
But like yeah, he had a Dollar Tree right next to the theater, and he was just buying his batteries from there because it was
Oh,
cheap. And I
goodness.
was like, these aren't working, man. I feel like I have a shake weight in my freaking
You have to
hand.
buy a case of them.
Now that's gonna be online. Me just going like this.
Ah.
Usually I have to pay for that on OnlyFans.
Yeesh.
I say I'm fat. I'd be an OnlyFlan.
Only flame.
Yeah.
There it is. Heck yeah.
That's some merch.
That is. I was thinking of doing Only Sam's.
Oh,
I was
OnlyFans.
thinking about it.
I was thinking with you, man. Why haven't you like leaned into the Stackhouse part and started like doing some like spoof IHOP stuff,
I should.
like International House of Sam Cakes?
Because I'm not smart and I never thought about that.
You're a Stackhouse.
I get hit in the head.
You can have a full stack.
Yeah, that is dope.
The full Stackhouse.
Full stack. Hey.
I'm in marketing, man. Like I like I said, I worked 15 years in cell phone and stuff like that. I was the guy like I would like work at T-Mobile and US Cellular. Like that's a local reference. Nobody even knows what the fuck US Cellular is. But I worked there and like they were like, yeah, here's our flyers. I'm like, these look like shit.
Yeah.
So I just go in Photoshop and make my own.
Heck yeah. Dang.
Commission, man. You
That's
got to
smart.
make it.
That's smart. Yeah.
So speaking of, how many shirts would you like today? No, I don't. I'm out of big boy sizes, man. I'm out. I had to get 2 for myself, and then I had an extra one, and it sold like the first show.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I always run out of the little sizes because I don't buy very many of those. 'Cause pee on the small people.
I
No,
did.
I'm just kidding. I love you people too.
I do small batches of 25, 25 shirts, and then I do like 5 of each size from small to 2X, and then I'll order a couple more until I get free shipping. Because that's a trick for me.
XL and 2X are the ones that I like. I could just order those and then
Yeah.
just get 2 of every other size. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's XL and 2X. I can't keep those. And then 3X is close behind it. So I know my people.
Yeah.
I
I've had open mics. I've had women like it's funny like because like the name Unloading Meat.
yeah.
There, I'll tell you off camera. Like I'll cut this. I always tell people. But I
used to
just
do that
love
with
it.
Golden Corral because like everybody's like, oh, where's that at? And I would just say, I'm like, oh, it's near whatever the first town in Texas I could think of. Because a lot of people thought it was like a real place. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, brother, it's just a fat joke.
Yeah, like Truth and Consequences.
But I've had that lit since my like when I was making my debut, I didn't have it like the morning of my debut, the afternoon of my debut. I didn't have a name. I didn't know where I was from. I didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
And so finally, they asked me like, because a lot of people always ask me where Stackhouse came from. It's gonna make me sound like a dork, but the dude who trained me, he asked me what the last name of the people on my favorite television show was. This is 2009, and I'm like 18 years old, and True Blood was my jam.
Sucky, 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 sucky. Sucky, 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 sucky. Sucky, 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 sucky.
So
Sucky.
yeah, Sucky. So their last name is Stackhouse. So that's how I became Sam Stackhouse. So
Do you want that in, or do you?
yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, that's fine. And then
Always ask.
yeah, oh yeah, and then the Golden Corral thing. And another dude who helped me in my little training time. He came up with that too. He said Golden Corral. He's like, he should be from Golden Corral, and I was like, well, I don't live from Golden Corral, Oklahoma. So I was like, I got to find a state to add to it. So I chose Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, man.
And it's been that way. I've been building from Golden Corral, Texas since the very beginning, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's been a few times where I've never specifically told anybody to build me from Tulsa, but there's been times where they just assume that I was from Tulsa, and they would build me from Tulsa. But I've always been built.
Well, like I heard it during that GCW one.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's why I heard Tulsa. I was like,
well, it's been back and forth because sometimes he'll say Golden Corral, and other times he says Tulsa. So it just depends on what he's feeling, I guess.
I gotta say also, the Jacob Fatu match, the commentary during that, they were like, I love commentators where like the Botchamania says, are they corpsing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where they're trying to hold in the laughter.
That's not Nigel, and that's Nigel, and
It was Kansas City, wasn't it?
no, it was in Wichita.
Wichita, yeah.
Yeah. Nigel is hilarious because he popped me one time too. In that same match because I hit Jacob with the Samoan drop. There it is. My brain died for a second. Hit him with the Samoan drop. Yeah. Hit him with the Samoan drop, and he was like, "That's cultural appropriation." He's like, a man from Oklahoma can't hit a Samoan with the Samoan drop.
I did that at a con. So I did a con at Glenpool a couple weeks ago, and I had a booth, and I interviewed Pippi Longstocking and a guy from Black Panther, and this lady came out because it's cosplay. It's a Comic Con. So this lady came up and she had a full Black Panther outfit on, and this like 12-year-old white kid comes up and goes, Wakanda forever to her, like right in front of my booth, and she does it back, and I go, oh, thank God he did it. I thought if I did it, that was gonna be cultural appropriation. she starts laughing, and he starts blushing a little bit because he didn't get it, but she got it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. That line he hit in that match that popped me.
Oh man, it's good if you lean into it. I mean, I honestly say, man, like I say it all the time. My favorite crowds to perform in are heavily Black or Latino crowds, because they usually get comedy better, and like they're just more loose to have more time, a good time.
Yeah, they just have a better. Yeah, like that's 100% true.
Usually when it's like older white women, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm too fat for this.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just like, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, I hate going to the shows where it's just a bunch of like soccer dads and moms. Yeah, they're just they're like you can tell they're only there so like their kids won't bother them for an hour and a half. Like, but you go to a show, you go to some of the other shows, and like everybody's into it, like they're all like they're just there to have a good time, and those are the best crowds to be in front of because you you feed off of that stuff. It's
well, like your matches on YouTube, like the Jacob Fatu one, like dude, the crowd was into you, man. Like,
was wild,
that crowd was great.
Yeah,
like I love crowds can make or break everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're the other person in the match or in our show, like they're the people I'm bouncing off of.
Especially on this level.
Yeah,
like because that's important. Like once you're on TV, you don't have to worry about like crowd reaction as much. Like live, you don't have to worry about it. Even I feel like even in comedian, like once you're on TV, like you don't have to worry as much about like the live crowd. You just got to worry about the TV, like what looks like on TV or whatever.
Well, the biggest thing was like I'm sure you know, like bigger stages, bigger lights.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And every time I do like Bricktown and here or like any kind of the bigger stage, like the AAA stages and stuff like that, the lights are so bright you can't see anybody.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's the trick. I mean, I'm breaking. I don't know what the fuck kayfabe would be from comedy.
I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. Carnies. Anyway, no, but like most crowd work is done beforehand.
Yeah.
Like we're pre-writing it, we're looking in the crowd, we're like, oh, that guy has a green shirt, oh, that lady has a fucked up hairdo. Because when I get up on stage, I can't see anybody.
Yeah.
It's just white.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in Oklahoma, so
of course. Yeah.
But the lights are also white. So I can't say anybody. So like when they're doing crowd work, man, that's cool. He's thinking of it on the fly. No, he's not. He thought about it 5 minutes ago and he wrote it down in his head. I wrote it down and just thought about it. Like that's just how it works.
And that's so crazy to say because that's exactly what all the good wrestlers do too. They'll peek at the crowd and like they'll like if you're later like luckily I'm at a point now. Well, sometimes I don't feel as lucky because sometimes I want to just get out there and go home. But like, because it's weird how it flipped. Because like before my first like 10 years or whatever, it was like a slight to me. Like I took it personal if I was like if I was opening the show or whatever, or I wasn't like if I was before like intermission or whatever. Yeah. Now I'm like main event all the time, and I'm like, brother, can I go first today, please? Because some of these shows like I was one time it was like 12:30 before I got to go out there. Oh, the show started at 8.
Oh,
it was 12:30 before I got to go out there, and I'm like, brother, because Christopher Daniels was on that show, and he popped me because he made a joke. He's like, y'all paid me for yesterday, not today. It popped me. But,
well, it's like, how do you stay warmed up? How do you stay psyched up? Something like for 4.5 hours, man. Like,
it's hard. That's exactly what I tell people. Like, I'm not. It's not like I hate the before part. Like once I get out there, and I feel like I'm dying before every single match for some reason. And then once I break the curtain, once I get out there, like I feel fine. And then after the match, I feel like I could go do it. I feel like I had 10 more matches. But like before, I feel like I'm about to fall over before it. So it's wild. I don't understand. But it's been that for 15 years. It's been that way. So I don't think it's gonna.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing though because like I always go back to Taz's autobiography that he totally wrote himself, and he talked about how he decided to hang it up when he didn't feel the butterflies anymore. Because I'm sure you read a lot of the autobiographies and stuff. Like, but he said like one day he was in Gorilla and he just didn't feel the butterflies anymore, and he was like, "That's the time to hang out because that's when I'm going to start making mistakes. That's when I'm too comfortable.
Just phone it in and get hurt or hurt somebody."
And so that's when he started like toning it down, and he just never felt the butterflies again. And that's why he never wanted to come back or anything. He just never felt it. Like even in TNA when they were trying to do that Samoa Joe stuff, he never really came back for anything.
That's crazy. I'm at a point where now I can't imagine not like I mean like I wanted like. I don't know. I'd be torn because it'd be nice if it wasn't there. Because, like I said, it makes me feel like dog water before every match. But like also at the same time, it makes me like it's what I like. I live for that. Like if I'm not, if I would have not have felt that feeling, I know for a fact I would be sad because like the past few months I got hurt first and I got sick, so I've been spending the past few months I've been spending a lot of time at home, and it's tough. Like it's weird. Because I got so used to, especially the past couple of years specifically, I've got so used to be on the road every week. Yeah. Like I'm doing this stuff all the time. I'm trying to figure out, I'm doing merch. I'm trying to figure out all the stuff, all the logistics, getting all the travel, all the stuff. And then for like 2 months, I didn't do anything except I played video games every day. I didn't do it. I didn't have anything to the weekend.
It was a rib, right?
Well, the ribs first, and then I ended up in the hospital. Like, it was a whole right when the ribs healed up, I felt good for like 2 days. And then I got back from Philadelphia, and then I don't know what the heck happened. Like my whole body decided my kidney shut down, my lungs. It wasn't great. So then that added another month of sitting home because this past weekend was my first. Like the past 3 months, I've wrestled twice, I think, and I finally got back to it this past weekend, and it felt fantastic.
What's your recovery time like? Sort of like after a big match or something like that. Like just like as far as like before you feel. I don't say normal, but I mean you're always gonna be feeling like bumps and bruises and stuff like that.
That's the difference. Like there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Yeah. And like luckily through the past 15 years, I've not actually spent a lot of time being injured. I've been hurt pretty much the whole 50 something hurts all the time. But as far as recovery, it's just like usually it's like I did last weekend, I got to wrestle in Dallas tomorrow, and it wouldn't matter if I was banged. Like I feel pretty good right now from this past weekend. Yeah. But like it wouldn't matter if I was banged. You just got to keep. That's like. It's. I was on a podcast not too long ago, and their whole theme of the day was like, do you get mad when people call wrestling fake or whatever? And like, I don't get mad when they call it fake because everybody knows what it is. Yeah. But like the only time I get mad is when people discredit like what we do because I know if I'm going to win or lose or not. Because just because the finish may not be real doesn't mean that like the time I spent in the gym, the 13-hour drive or whatever I spent there, the time away from family I've spent there, the bumps and bruises. Like I feel the match, like the fans go home after that match and they're thinking about it, cool. But I feel that match. I may feel that match for weeks afterwards, depending on what happened and all this stuff. And it's not like it's not a poor me thing. I absolutely love what I do. But like that's just that's the only time I get upset about when people like, as far as people talk about it fake, like they discredit us as like athletes and stuff like that. That's what I don't like that part, because there's some of these athletes out here that are wrestling. They could challenge any professional athlete at anything probably. There's some of these dudes out here that can do some crazy things and have more control of their body than ballet dancers do.
Yeah,
like there's some of these people who are fantastic athletes and stuff. So that's the only part that.
Yet the outrage when they pulled Hamilton off of Disney Plus.
I didn't know they pulled Hamilton.
I thought they pulled it off of there after a couple of years.
I didn't even know that.
But it's just like, man, how many times you watched it? Spoiler alert: he dies at the end.
Yeah,
like
I watched it.
We know the ending, but we're still entertained.
I dig some Hamilton though. That's what I said. Like they're like, are you at the Marvel movies? Like everyone knows the good guys are gonna win at the end, but not the whole time. You're still worried a little bit, you know. Yeah. When homie snapped and everybody died, he was a little scared. Yeah, he was a little scared, you know.
Well, like from just a non-wrestler stuff coming out, like just breaking it down. Like when I was 5 years old, this was. I mean, I'm gonna be 36. You're what, 34, 35?
Yeah, 34. I'll be 35 next month.
Oh, nice. So when I was 5 years old, 93, Power Rangers was big. Karate was the thing that came around that time. So I was like, two things in Oklahoma were Power Rangers and Walker, Texas Ranger. And I was like, oh, karate's cool. White people can do it.
Yeah,
so we started doing it. And like, that was my fascination. And then I kind of fell out for that. But after Power Rangers, I kind of see behind the scenes what it is, stuff like that. I didn't find wrestling until I was like 11 or 12 because we didn't have cable.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Didn't have cable for a long time until we moved out to a place called Copan. Yeah. And got DirecTV, and my first match was on USA. It was Shamrock and Dan Severn in a Lions Den match. It was like this, the cage of like the Lions Den cage, and I was like, it was like a Sunday night heat. They were just showing a replay of it or whatever, and I was just like, this is wrestling?
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, and I just kind of fell in love with it.
I didn't even get, like, when I first started watching wrestling, it was from DVDs, or not DVDs, there was still VHS. VHS is at the Reesers. They had the video store, and like they would put they would have the pay-per-views about a month and a half after they happened. And because we didn't have cable, I think I was 15 or 16 when we got cable. Like I've never, like, also, like, people make fun of me too. I'm not a WCW guy because I never got to watch it.
Yeah,
like literally the first WCW episode that I watched live was the last one when Shane McMahon showed up.
Wow,
that was the last one I got to watch live. Everything else WCW is because I've gone back and watched. I didn't get to watch it at that time. So it's weird. It's weird.
I mean, that's kind of the same way here. Like, I didn't watch WCW a lot. I didn't have cable till I was like I said, 12 or 13.
Yep.
And VHS were a big thing too. Like renting them from research and stuff like that. Watching King of the Ring and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right. Like about a month or so later, they'd be out.
But I rented, what was it, like St. Valentine's Day Massacre or whatever, when the homie got thrown off the cage, and that changed my life.
The debut of Paul White.
Yeah, that changed my life.
And that also where he got thrown to the ring? Or
that's the one he got yeeted, or when Mankind got yeeted off the gimmick.
Yeah.
And then threw the thing. Yo, that's so crazy.
Speaking of Mankind, that's somebody I also am reaching out. He was in Broken Arrow or so, doing a signing a couple months ago or something like that. And I reached out to his publicist, and they couldn't get him to do on this tour. They said in September or October he's going to do another book tour, and he's going to come in here and try to do this.
That's sick.
So I'm like, yes, because like Mick Foley.
When I got back from the Hammerstein, he was doing a signing in Tulsa, and I got to go up there. Like I know the owner and everything. They let me come up there and hang out with him and talk to him and stuff. It was so cool.
He just like seems like the most genuine guy. Like, he's also doing stand up.
Well, that's what I tell people all the time. Like I sit there and watch it for like 2 hours. And I probably watched him sign probably 200 people's things. And I guarantee you, if you ask if you lined up all those people and asked them to this day, each and every single one of them had a moment with Mick Foley.
Making moments.
But it was wild though, because he did recycle the same things, but like he knew when to do it and when but like it was also crazy because if someone brought up something, like he knew, like they were like, oh, I saw you this day in 1997. He's like, oh yeah, I wrestled blah 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 that night, and he's just like, fuck, he just knew.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how that happens because I have not wrestled half as much as him, and I can't do that. If someone's like, oh, I saw you in 2015 at this place,
let me pull up Cage Match.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna be able to tell you. But yeah, like watching him, I learned a lot that day. She was like, said he had a moment with every single person that came through that line. It was insane.
Well, it's not like everybody has like the list like Jericho, where he has the list of every single one of his matches.
Yeah,
he wrote it
down. That's one of my biggest regrets in wrestling is not doing that. I very much wish I would have done that.
My only problem with that book was like that was a list of every single one of his matches up to that date, and I'm like, so as soon as he published it, it's out of date.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
It's like we need another. We need an alteration. Just keep it up. Just do an online version. Just keep it going.
Luckily, in in Oklahoma, every single one of my Oklahoma matches, there's a site called OklaFan
Yep.
in Oklahoma. So every single thing I've ever done in Oklahoma is on there. But then that means it's up to me to remember the stuff I did outside Oklahoma, and that's just simply not gonna happen.
Like I was around like the scene in like when I lived in Tulsa back around 08, 09, I lived with some wrestlers in like, an apartment that were doing Compound Pro.
Yeah, that's where I trained. That's where I trained at. Yeah.
And it was Cast Iron Cawthorn,
Oh snap! Yeah.
Boss
yeah.
Campbell.
No way.
Yeah.
Boss Campbell's
they were my
dude.
roommates.
Oh, Boss Campbell's my dude.
So like I worked with them at Game Exchange.
That's crazy. Yeah, because Cawthorn had all the tattoos.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah, that's
And XCal.
I want Yeah, I know XCal too.
And I know he's still going. He has a different name now.
Yeah, he's like a native. He's got a Native American thing going on there. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, Dango, and yeah, I love all those dudes. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, I went to a show like. I have this famous story with Boss and XCal at the time. I'll tell it here. I was trying to impress this chick in college. I went to RSU in Claremore, and I worked at Game Exchange with all of them. That was like their day job, and then on the weekends they would go do indie shows.
Yeah.
And so Boss was the manager of this GameStop. I was an employee, and
So crazy.
we would go to this chick's house, her apartment, and she had all this liquor and stuff like that. And I was 19 at the time, and I thought, hey, I want to impress this girl. I want to drink a lot. Because that'll impress a girl, right? So in the span of 30 minutes, I had 7 double shots of Jack.
Jeez.
I drank 2 glasses of wine, and I was drinking 3 Budweisers.
Ugh.
Just going down.
Yeah, that makes me feel gross.
I don't
just
remember
thinking
much of
about
this night.
it.
I remember flashes of it. I remember one point, I guess I had to go to the bathroom, and so they drug me to the bathroom, and then they went back in there, and I was like playing with a rubber ducky in the bathtub.
Oh, jeez.
And then like they just laid me on my side on the floor, and I was just like this, and my arm started twitching. And they're all drinking. They're like, huh, that's not good. Well, we'll let him sit there for another 30 minutes or so. And then they're like, maybe he's not responding. Maybe we should take him to the ER. So they take me to the ER, and Boss has me under one arm, XCal on the other, and they take me to the ER, and I wake up, and I'm like looking in the ER at the lights, and this doctor comes over, and he's like, did you know you could have died?
Jeez.
And I just remember Freebird was playing on the radio, and I was like, "Yep, it's Oklahoma ER."
She should have you might have if I wake up in the hospital with Freebird.
Yeah, it was fucking Freebird.
I'm gonna assume I died.
Yeah, not even the guitar solo yet. It was just the starting of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume I died.
So like he starts like
the waiting room of heaven.
Yeah, he just starts ranting on me about alcohol poisoning, and he gives me this little flyer, which I always remember because it said like major side effects and had minor side effects, and under minor it said death.
Oh,
I was like, that should be under major.
Probably. Well, I guess if you don't know, you can't really, you ain't gonna feel it.
Yeah.
You know?
So I had no feeling on this arm because they let me sleep on it for too long. And they're wheeling me out and they're carrying me like this, Boss under one arm, XCal on the other. And I see this lady, and she has a head wound, and she's handcuffed to like the check-in station at the ER, and there's cops all around her. And she has this giant gauze around her, and I go, she looks like a Shriner. And they're like, Jared, shut the fuck up. I'm like, ba 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 da 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 da. And then Boss was like, hey, you know you have to open tomorrow. And I was like, my arm's like this. It was like Harry Potter when they removed the bones.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know. It's going to be funny. He made me open, and I had like a dead arm for 3 days.
That's awesome.
I had drunker's palsy. It's an actual term. Drunker's palsy.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Medical term. If you sleep on it, you can go to sleep and it just won't come back. Yeah. Something about the alcohol.
Dang, I got to remember that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't mow the lawn today, baby. I got
drunker's palsy.
My foot's numb.
Yeah, it was just asleep for like
That's
3 days.
Crazy.
Because of all that alcohol.
I watched Cawthorn almost fight a juggalo one time at the wrestling show. It was hilarious.
Well, they were behind the Tulsa Anti-Juggalo League.
Yeah, yeah.
They had the MySpace.
They had these people had a baby in one arm and was like swinging at freaking Cawthorn with the other arm, like over the child. Like not even didn't have these things like turn the child away and punch this way. They had the baby right here was punching over the child. I was like, oh.
Wait till they found out he's communist.
My God, yeah, dude, that was one of the like you can't tell from the tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, but that was one of the first compound shows I started coming to, and then a few months later I started training.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I know all those dudes. That's great. That's crazy.
Yeah, small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of Oklahoma.
That's wild.
Yeah,
makes sense. It is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of activity out here.
No. But it just makes it because wrestlers like the line of the stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
It's all like those us type people would hang out with anyway. So it makes sense.
There's a reason you build yourself from Golden Corral, not Tulsa.
Oh.
I honestly, like, the comedy scene's booming. It's starting to climb up more and more the last couple of years. Like, that was eye-opening. Like, Josh Wolf's a touring comedian with his son, and is open for like Chelsea Handler and Joe Rogan and stuff like that. And he was like, I didn't know Tulsa had a scene.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of eye-opening when I was building this. Like 2 months in, he was like, I didn't know you guys had a scene. I've been doing this for like 20 years.
It's the same thing with wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, I can't tell you how many times like most people only know that WWE and a lot of people don't even know AEW exists still. Like a lot of people, WWE is it.
Yeah.
And like they don't understand. Like
we were both at the AEW show in Tulsa.
Yeah. Just this last weekend, excuse me, in Denver, my hold on, I got a call.
You're good.
The promoter I was staying with in Denver, he was talking about his neighbor, and like they're big lucha fans. Like he just happened to talk to him, and they said that they didn't even know that there was wrestling in America, except like they didn't know independent wrestling existed in America. They thought they knew about independent wrestling, but they thought it only existed in Mexico. They thought that was like a Mexican thing. But yeah, and they ended up they brought, there was like 14 people that ended up coming to the show in Denver because like he told them about it. But I hear that all the time, that like people don't know that there's independent wrestling. It's probably the same thing. People don't understand, like people only think that comedians only come when they're at the BOK Center or whatever, at the Canes or something like that.
Well, and it's like, I'm sure you've done like doing promotions like with our indie shows and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like, doesn't matter how many local names you know, because like nobody's is over on their own, so to speak. So it's like not one person's going to sell out the arena. Yeah. But if you can get behind a concept, or you can get like a ladder match, or you can do something like a special attraction, people kind of get their head around. Like, I may not know these people, but I know what that is, and I want to go.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I've done with my filming my roast battles. Because like I was like, hey, I'm going to book 10 people, and they're like, well, I don't really know all these names, but if I say it's a roast battle competition, the winner gets $200.
People are going to go.
People are like, oh, I know what that is.
I spend hours on TikTok watching roast battle. Because I like to get ideas from promos from there.
Well, dude, I say all the time, heel promos are what I study. MJF,
See,
dude, is
like I study roast comedy.
Really? Isn't it funny? I'm happy that you're here, man. Like, this is kind of cool. Because like I just see the similarities so much between what we do. And it's just crazy, and like just trying to be over, trying to get your music going, and stuff, like trying to get the quote unquote gimmick over, so to speak. And just building your brand, building your logos, just trying to get the merch out there, and just make those fucking connections. Sometimes it's not about getting paid; it's about the connections.
Like that's people always ask me about like the GCW stuff. When I first got on GCW, like I went there on my own. Like I got real lucky. I got extremely lucky because they reached out to me. Like, because when I first got this message, I'm sitting there playing Madden, and I get a message, and he's like, hey, have you heard of Game Changer Wrestling? And of course I've heard of and he's like, well, I'm the promoter of Game Changer Wrestling, and like he said he'd want to work with me when it made sense or whatever, and I like didn't know who the promoter was, because I was talking to Fuego about this yesterday, is like a lot of people, when they get like I haven't done really anything comparatively, but like when you get a little bit of success and you get to live your dream a little bit, people get bitter and everything about people who didn't take them or whatever. But like I've come to the realization that the only person that I could be bitter about who didn't like bank on Sam is me. Like I nobody wasted more time than I did. So I can't be bad about anybody else. So like I have this problem of not seeing that, and like I said, I always say I get lucky and everything. But like he helped me realize that I earned it and everything. But I got really lucky. Like they reached out to me and I got lucky. He told me that like somebody sent me the clips. I found out it was Joey Janela that had seen my clips and sent them to him and told him to reach out to me. And then they happened to book that show in Dallas, and I showed up. And then he looked me up and down, asked me if I brought my stuff, and didn't say anything. And didn't say a word to me. I had no idea. I was just there to just like I would have stepped. I was up there, step the ring, help whatever. And he asked for somebody for a hotspot, so he used my like hotspot on my phone to download some people's music. And this guy named Facade walked up and asked what he was doing. And he was like, probably wrestling this guy, and pointed at me. And that's when I found out that I was booked to GCW. And then another like a month later, I'm going somewhere with this about the exposure and all the thing. Like I didn't even ask for any pay for this. For like I didn't even cross my mind to ask for pay. So like it was like three weeks later, something like that. I'm playing Madden, and then the promoter messaged me, said, "Hey, I was doing bookkeeping, and I realized I forgot to pay you." And I was like, "Brother, I wasn't gonna say not one thing." And then he was like, "Could you get to Vegas if you had a reason to?" And then I got myself to Vegas. Luckily I ended up having a buddy who's now it's his ex-wife, unfortunately, but she had this job where she got to rack up a bunch of airplane points.
Yeah.
So I got to fly to Vegas and back with 2 seats because it's American because they made my fat ass buy 2 seats.
Yep.
But for 2 seats, it cost me $26 round trip because she had all these points or whatever. So I went out there and that's when I found out I was doing the Cardona thing. But like, it's just you got to like, if I didn't take the risk of doing that and find out how to do that, and like, there's been plenty of trips. I can't tell you how many trips me and one of my buddies, we drove all the way to Chicago just to wrestle each other for $125 to split between us.
Yeah.
So we didn't make no money on it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's just you got to keep on going after this, and it's the same thing. Like I can't like I imagine there's a lot of comedians out there ain't making money.
No,
but they're probably happy doing what they're doing there. And
yeah,
and especially with TikTok and the internet now, all it takes is the right person to. Because I can't tell how many new comedians I know now just because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of them that I follow that they don't have big Netflix specials or anything, but they kill me on TikTok.
Yeah. Like TikTok's something I'm not. I tried. I need to get back into it big, and then also with the whole like is it going to be banned or something like that? It's been
I
like
have no
how
idea.
much am I putting my effort into that?
For sure.
But I need to get better into clips. I mean, everybody needs to get better into clips.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where the thing is. That's where the exposure is. Like my podcast is long form. That's great, and I get views slowly but surely. Yeah. But the short clips is what's going to bring the audience to that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's just doing the research, doing them. And, I'm one of those guys where like. Every wrestling show, every podcast, every comedy show, I have a little notebook, and I'm like taking notes of camera angles, how they're switching and stuff.
That's the difference between
how I am.
Well, that's the difference between successful people and people who just like who complain on Facebook that they're not being successful.
I'm a fan of it. Like I'm a fan, and like also like I also maybe just like post divorces, post therapy, and all that stuff. I'm also a big proponent of everybody deserves their flowers. Give the person their flowers when they get them.
While they're alive.
Yeah. But like. I'm sure, like, not that I'm humble bragging, but like when I reached out to you, I was like, dude, great match. Like, I was not just blowing smoke up your ass. I generally thought you had a great match, and you made an impression on me. And that's important. Like, that's the shit that, like, people like Ethan Page, I brought them up. Like, people like that, or like Mikey Ruckus, people that I just reached out and, like, were just genuinely cool people, and I can make a connection with. That shit matters, man.
And that's another reason when I get mad, like, when I'll defend wrestling to my core, because, like it's more than just us going out there to do moves. Because I can't tell how many people have come up to me and say how much something meant to them. Like I got like wrestling got them through a tough time or something like that. And like anything that does that for somebody can't be bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, like I guess unless it's crack.
Bad. I mean, I say it all the time that comedy podcasts like Two Bears One Cave and stuff like that. That's what got me through COVID, and that's what reaffirmed this.
How much comedy do you think is like literally probably saved people's lives? Like been in a dark place and they see something that makes them finally laugh at, like they haven't laughed in weeks.
Wrestling was the same way though, but I mean, it's hard to watch the COVID era stuff. Yeah. It's hard to go back and watch that era. It immediately makes you depressed. It immediately takes the wind out.
It does, it just takes you back. You're like, oh, that time.
I mean, this may be bleak, but it's almost like watching Benoit matches.
It kind of because you're like,
no matter how good, even the WrestleMania train at 20, triple threat in the Eddie moment. That's one. Okay, I will say, the moment that really clicked for me that wrestling mattered more than just everything else, when Eddie died, the wave of it affecting people, not just fans, but like people like crying like the OKC bombing or 9/11, like they lost a family member. Like Eddie had been touched so many people throughout their lives, and that kind of connection.
The Bray one was wild.
Bray's the reason one. Yeah,
like that was that one. Because have you watched the documentary?
Not yet. I don't. Again, that one's up there with like the Norm Macdonald's last special. Like my two goats are Dave Attell and Norm Macdonald. Norm's last special. I don't know if you know anything about him. He didn't get to record it in front of the people, so he basically during COVID put it out as a Skype call. So his last special is basically just a Skype call. Yeah, and then he died because he hid. He was sick for 30 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nobody even SNL knew he had leukemia and stuff.
That's so crazy.
His whole entire career, he hid it. And it's just one of those things where like I can't really watch that special without it. I can't laugh at it because it's bittersweet. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So yeah.
Well, because the documentary, it's I watched it. Me and my wife watched it, and then I was crying like a little baby. And then when we got to Philadelphia for Mania, there was like 6 or 7 wrestlers, and we were sitting watching in the Airbnb, and we were all crying. That stuff like that, it shows that this stuff's important because like Bray like touched people's lives and made stuff better, and like they like even people who never even met this man and like didn't even know the real man, or like they felt like they felt the presence lost whenever they attached to that.
Well,
like, like that is important.
I also feel that like I know there's more than just me, but like there's a certain, I don't want to say anger, but there's a wave of kind of like you're not pissed off, but you're disappointed because of lost potential.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just because he died way too early, kind of like when Briscoe, Jay, right?
Jay. That one hit me because he was one of the nicest people. Like when I did GCW in Dallas, like him and Mark watched my match, and like when I came back, like Jay was he was singing my song. Like he was like Stackhouse, and he was like, and they said, "Oh, big man would love this," and they talking about their dad would like me and everything, so and like we're in the little smoke circle together and stuff, like it was fantastic. Like he treated me so well, and then because that one hurt me. That one I was sad about that one because like I said, he was one of the nicest people, and he died way too soon, way too soon.
Yeah, like this is it's a mix between live performance. It's a mixture of everything when you talk about Marvel movies. I talked about I went from Power Rangers to wrestling because like I just kind of outgrew it. I was like, oh, there's something similar kind of like to it. Like I think Super Sentai and wrestling is very flamboyant and loud and bright and stuff like that and colorful, and it's just something that kind of appealed to a lot of kids. I mean, Hulk Hogan, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Fuck your best friend's wife. Gawker.
I was about to say, no, that was Terry Bollea.
Oh, that's Terry Bollea.
That wasn't Hulk Hogan.
That wasn't Hulk Hogan, yeah.
Terry Bollea's got that little wing.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan got a big one.
Now, the black jokes that he was saying about.
No, that was Terry Bollea.
That was Terry Bollea, yeah.
Hulk Hogan would never say anything like that. That's Terry Bollea.
It's like my last week's episode, I put in the Mr. America clip where he was like trying to deny to Roddy Piper that he was Hulk Hogan. Like, I'm not Hulk Hogan, brother. He literally says that to the camera. It's so damn funny.
Brother, I mean.
But no, like getting back to Bray and stuff, like there was a little bit of like I don't say like a wave of just like lost opportunity, lost potential. Not just because he died early, but because of there's so many years, like I don't want to say the quote unquote Vince era, so much of like people like, you wanted to get behind, but were just never pushed the way you thought they should be, and like clearly had it all. And like Bray, man, there's so much lost potential. Brody went to AEW and stuff like that. Like just like the things that could happen in their careers, like you're just like, what could have been, sucks, and that kind of helps. That sucks.
Yeah, because I mean, he like getting from everything I got. Well, everything I knew before and everything I got from that documentary. Like he was one of the most creative people. Yeah. And to like lose, just to lose the creativeness like that. Because I mean, he didn't come up just for ideas for himself. Like he came up for ideas for everybody. So like that's a tough loss. And it always seems it's the creative ones that always go early. Because that I've like. And it's gonna sound so cliche until like first world problems, but I feel like the creativity, like there's a reason for that, because like that's a hard thing to bear, because like when your brain works different than everybody else, like you can't, like other people, because nobody can keep up with him creatively. Yeah. Like he by the time he's explaining his idea that he has to, he already has another idea. Yep. And like if you can't, like that's gotta be
it's
brutal.
Exhausting.
Yeah, it's gotta be
exhausting.
Yeah. And I'm sure that couldn't help I mean, I'm sure that didn't help his heart. No. But yeah, that's terrible. Well, that was way too soon.
Yeah,
way
man.
Too soon. I remember my wife came in there and told me, and I was like, no way. And I got on Twitter and saw Triple H's thing, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was at an open mic, and somebody said Bray Wyatt died. I was like, no shit,
that's
bullshit.
So crazy, man.
Just where were you when the world stopped turning?
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, the Eddie one, that one was rough too.
Mayday.
I mean, shoot, I was sad about the Benoit one too, because I was a huge Benoit guy.
Yeah, until the next day. I'm just mad that Johnny Nitro won the title.
I still have my conspiracy theories though to hold on to. I'm just saying.
What you think? It was what was his name?
Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan. Yeah.
I know. I got proof.
OKS.
I got proof.
I mean,
I got proof.
Do you think he did it with the same makeup, like drawn up on his forehead?
Had to. Yeah, he just showed up and like rang the doorbell, and that's when homie got off the phone with Chavo, and that man just showed up with the X on his forehead and just went to do it crazy.
That was one of my worst jokes I ever did. I know. I like did something that wasn't going well. And I was like, man, that's like the Chris Benoit joke. So what I'm trying to say is, read your Bibles.
Jesus.
And then I went, Trump will sell you one for $50. And this guy that was talking at the bar all night, like, when you hit like a Trumper or just somebody, I don't care what your politics are, I just try to be funny. But when you hit something, like, they can laugh at everything, but as soon as you say that name, it's gonna get an opinion. So as soon as I said that, I was like, read your fucking Bibles. If you don't have one, Trump will sell you one for $50. And this guy just looks up and goes, it's 70. Oh. And I go, it's 70? He goes, yeah. I go, man, Republicans are fucking stupid. Man, I just caught him in it.
Yeah. It always blows my mind when I see those videos of people getting mad at comedy shows. I can't imagine being that person. I just can't imagine going to a comedy show and getting mad.
Yeah.
Like I just can't.
What was the guy, John Caponero? That just got like assaulted on stage because he said like one Trump joke or something like that.
I didn't even see that.
Holy smokes. Like just ladies or somebody attacked him, and then they threw a fucking glass at him.
Oh my god!
And like he was making fun of everything all night, and then he just did like one thing. Like I just like it wasn't even a bad Trump joke. It wasn't even making fun. It was just like the other guy, Trump or something like that. And somebody's like, you shouldn't talk about that. And he's like, well, I'll say what I want to say. Yeah. And they got pissed.
That's
Oh God, am I the first one to dislike Trump? Oh my God, I must have invented disliking Donald Trump. Hey, on your way out, remember, you can suck my balls anytime you want, all right? Fucking break up my show, lady. You know what? You come up here and do this shit, and yeah, I'm gonna go fuck.
so crazy, man.
And it's like,
I cannot imagine.
it's like you're careful with it. You know when to hit those points.
Especially nowadays. But I mean, I've seen wrestlers get in trouble for doing or saying stuff they shouldn't do during matches and everything too. So a little bit of bubbly.
Yeah.
But like, it's just the day and age we live in, I guess.
I know.
I just can't imagine paying to go to a show and then get it, like knowing full well what you're about to get into.
Yeah.
Like, and then getting mad about something. And like, also, I just don't understand how people think that anybody would care that you got
The worst heckler I ever had wasn't even about me, but I was doing this show and there was another guy named Thunderwolf. He's a black comedian, funny as hell, very improv guy, and this like redneck guy in a pink polo. And he's like one of those guys like alligator boots, like nice Wranglers, the belt buckle, but like a pink polo just to tell you like I'm kind of that way, like like just a little tease of it.
Yeah.
But like he was heckling all night, just drunk out of his mind. We were trying to get him out of there. And then at the end of the night, he went up to the black comedian Thunderwolf, and he comes out with this like money clip full of just hundreds. Like he's just rich, like he's just obviously showing off all his money.
Yeah.
And he goes all the way to his $10 bills, and he gives Thunderwolf a $10 bill. He goes, "You were funny for your kind."
Oh my God.
And I was just like,
yikes.
and like we're just like,
What
what? What?
Some people's children. I don't understand how people could live in a world where they think that's just fine.
And then the next night, we're doing another show, and I'm at Tulsa Comedy Club, and this guy somehow went to that show too, and he's in the crowd, and he's heckling all night drunk. And so the host decides, hey, this will be a great idea. Let's bring him on the stage at the end of the night in front of a live mic, and let's all heckle him.
Oh, no.
Should you give a drunk guy a live mic at a full stage?
Probably not.
No. Because the first thing out of his mouth is he recognized me from the night before, and he starts calling me the F word.
Jesus
Just right off the bat. He's like, look at this. And,
oh, my God.
and they cut his mic in 10 seconds.
Yikes. That's so crazy.
It was like 2 nights in a row.
I don't understand the type of person that would make them feel like I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's fucking Oklahoma, man.
I swear, like I told my wife this the other day. I swear, like if the way the world is now, if I got superheroes or superpowers, I'd probably low key be a secret. Like I don't know. I guess depending on how you look at it. Because basically, what I would do is I would just go on TikTok and like look at these TikToks, these horrible people, and then just show up at their house in the middle of the night and beat the shit out of them. That's what I would do. There'd be, all of a sudden, there'd be just like I'd be like a what's it called? Like a wives' tale, like of the group of the, like a what's not the conspiracy? What's the word I'm looking for?
Like a
urban legend.
Urban
that's
legend.
What
Just not
be
Final
an
Cut.
urban legend, Just be I remember I saw that urban legend movie in the theater.
Yeah.
And I always liked that.
I remember Final Cut because it was at a film school. And I was like, that was the tagline. It was like Urban Legend, Final Cut.
My favorite one was the one where the dude's like under the car and he slices the Achilles tendon, whichever movie that one is. I remember that one specifically.
I mixed up those with Final Destination too.
I like Final Destination.
My favorite was Final Destination. It's 3. It's
That's
3D.
The roller coaster
one.
Yep.
I actually have it on DVD over there.
That's dope. Yeah.
Because
it
was. Do you remember like when DVDs were trying to sell like special things, like just ways to buy them?
Yeah.
This was a choose your own adventure. Movie. So for the DVD, because it was unrated, it was a 3D movie in theaters.
Yeah.
So for DVD release, they made a choose your own adventure version of it.
Dang, I didn't know that.
And you buy the DVD version. It's really fun. Just put it in your PlayStation, something like that, and watch it. And it's like there's like 16 different ways the movie could end. Like you could choose every death. It pulls up a little thing. And it's like, do you want them to move right or move left?
Wow.
And it affects the plot throughout the whole thing. And this was just an extra thing, and they made this whole movie like that. And it makes it really entertaining.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty dope.
shout out. Go find it like a game exchange or like that. You can get it for like $5.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
But it's a fun movie to watch.
I was watching I don't know, it was random, but I saw a little video of the dude from the first Final Destination, and he was talking about how they invited him to the premiere, like the last one, but they didn't tell him why because he didn't even know that he was like in the movie at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, because technically they didn't film anything new. They
Yeah.
just used the old clips or whatever. But they didn't tell. He had no idea. He was like,
didn't
"Why
get
are
the
you
residuals of
inviting me
it?
to this?" Yeah, like, he had no idea till he saw it on the screen. I was like, "That's got to be a wild thing."
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Final Destination.
How does that work too for for wrestlers on TV? Like, do you guys get residuals for that? Like, would that happen like for like if it was like put in like on a streaming service or something like that? Like,
I imagine with the way those contracts work, probably not, because like I think
Independent
like,
contractor kind of stuff.
They used to get like I mean I know they got royalty checks for like the DVDs and stuff back in the day, but once they did the network and stuff, like I remember there a whole bunch of people complaining and stuff because the money went down and stuff because they like the bonuses and all that stuff. Like I imagine they're not nearly as much as they used to be because I mean they get paid probably off the shirts and the merch and stuff like that. But I imagine they probably don't make it much extra for it being on TV. That's probably just part of their little contract.
that was around the time they started really pushing the Legends deals too. Like to be like the touring ambassadors and stuff like that and locking them down. Before AEW and stuff like that too. It's just it's fun watching this stuff.
Now they're just like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. Nakamura can go to Japan and wrestle still while he's still in a contract. That was wild.
Crazy.
Was
And
it
then Mania weekend, that Shayna Baszler and you were just
on
talking
Josh
about him
Barnett.
earlier. Homie's kid was on there too. Regal's
yeah.
kid. Yeah, his son, and he signed at NXT. And they were both there. They let him. They were allowed to do. I don't know how. And also that show was crazy too because 95% of the WWE locker room was in the GCW locker room.
Damn.
Because like everybody was there. Punk was there. Braun. Like there's pictures. Like there's tons of pictures everybody was taking, but half the roster was.
I saw your picture with what's her name from Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, that was insane.
Kaylee Coco. Or?
Yeah, that was crazy because I was sitting up there talking to Hornswoggle, and then like we're talking to him, and like I look back and I was like, is that freaking Penny right there? And he's like, oh shit. We were like, what is that? Because we were at and it was at the ECW arena, which was I was just on cloud 9 being in that building in the first place. But that was cool. And then we were sitting up there, and because like behind the curtain or whatever, and then you go upstairs and there's like this whole little this private area, and that's where we were sitting at or whatever. And I guess that actor dude that's been doing some wrestling shows, Walter Hauser.
Oh, Paul Walter Hauser. Yeah.
I guess Kaylee Kugo's husband is friends with him, so they were there. They were there to watch him. So
Makes
I was
sense.
I was like, that was but she was super nice.
That's a dude living his fanboy dreams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That dude
for sure.
And he's a damn good actor too.
Yeah, well, I mean, because at that night he wrestled Sami Callihan.
Yeah,
and it was wild. And the stuff with Cardona was good.
Like I'm starting to like you see like I mean I'll always throw up there just because he's a comedian, but Ron Funches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did that match with what's his name?
Dang, I just seen it.
Tony Deppen.
Yeah.
Because I remember he was even going on like late night shows and stuff like that and advertising GCW.
I sent him I chopped up all the clips and sent them to him. So because I used to whenever he did his podcast or his Twitch stream with Kevin Gill, they're like, what was it? Get high and watch wrestling, or watch wrestling, get high, something like that. I was always in there and I talked to Ron a few times. He's cool. Yeah, he's super cool.
Yeah, so like, that's inspiration.
And he loves wrestling. Yeah, he's super. Yeah, and that match was crazy because they did it in L.A.
Yeah.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, that was another one. Like he did a Destroyer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did a Canadian Destroyer?
That's the new celebrity move.
Yeah, that is new.
Every celebrity does that move now.
Well, I mean, it's like that and the Midnight Express or the Rock and Roll Express. Yeah, they're doing.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Or was not? I call him Carrie now. Ricky's dope.
Yeah, Ricky Morton.
Ricky and Carrie. Yeah, Ricky and Carrie. They're both super cool.
Yeah, nicest guys too. Like I've seen them at a. There was an indie show. Long time ago, you brought up Hardys, and we can round back to this. Like my first wrestling match I ever saw live was like this. I don't want to say it was an indie show house show, but it was the Hardys and Michael P.S. Hayes, right? Whenever they started to do that stuff, and they were still letting them do like independent stuff, and they came to Tulsa, and it was them.
Was that the convention center?
Yeah, and X-Pac was there, Gangrel was there, and there was a couple other people, and then I had a whole bunch of indie people in there too. And it was just a cool show, and like I was sitting there right there at the guardrail, and I got to slap Matt Hardy's hand. And watched him with his shaky knee do the leg drop.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was my first experience with that. And then I saw Ricky Morton. Where was that? Somewhere in Kansas. I mean, I go around. It's just one of those things where just like you see wrestling come around. I want to go see.
Oh yeah.
And it's just one of those things, man. It's like wrestling connects everybody. I think.
Like, Ricky is like the shape he's still in, and the way he can go, and like just his stories and stuff.
And that hair.
Dude, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
I ended up at a steakhouse with the promoter from GCW, Ricky Morton, Effie, Ricky Shane Page, and not Justin Jordan, Dang, I forgot his name.
Joey Janela?
No, Jordan Oliver. There it is. Couldn't think of his last name for some reason. And we were at the steakhouse. It's fanciest steakhouse I've ever been at in my life.
Was it Brett?
Yeah. It's a whole crazy story about how I ended up there too. But hearing him tell like stories from him and Ric Flair and stuff back in the day, those dudes lived more in one night than I've lived in my entire 34 years of existence. Yeah. Like even if the stories he told are only a quarter true.
Yeah.
They're still absolutely insane.
It's kind of like when you watch like the 30 seconds that we got of Ric Flair at that last restaurant last month.
Yeah, dude.
It's like we know that he wooed the blind woman in the face, but we didn't get to see that. So like that's the alleged part. But for the 30 seconds we got to see, we're like, oh damn, Rick, you're spending that woo energy money good.
Yeah, man, dude. The story, so crazy. They lived, like I said, they lived more in a few hours than I've lived in my entire life.
Yeah,
it's crazy. He told a story about him and his tag partner. They would just like when they were going through towns or whatever, they would just buy like a junker car or whatever, and then just drive it till it dies, and just buy a new car in whatever town they're running to show it, and then just drive it till it dies. And I was like, that is so. And they would just leave it on the side of the road and just go to the next town and buy another car. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then the party and all, like he told us some crazy stories. I'm pretty sure Ric Flair's probably been close to death at least 157 times at least.
Yeah.
Like close, like that's wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What a time.
And that's not counting illegal activities.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he didn't even really tell us anything about anything. Just some of the stuff like they were into is just what like I don't know when they slept.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Ric Flair's probably never slept.
No.
There's probably no actual evidence.
Well, they say that Vince rarely slept.
He probably still does. He probably holed up in his little condo, just like like a bat. I imagine him like a bat. He probably like comes out of his little coffin thing or
it's
whatever.
Like what we do in the shadows.
He's like swinging up. He's like hung upside down in his room. Like they open the door. Somebody's going in there for the first time. Because how long has it been since he got in trouble? It's been like a year almost now, right? Since he got booted out. They just like crack open the thing. He's like, get out of here! You're fired.
All the drapes are made out of his Nature Boy robes.
Probably. Right?
They're all bedazzled drapes.
He's got all of his toys named after all the wrestlers just around him in a circle.
It's like, are we at Ric Flair's house or Liberace's? Like Jesus.
Man, that stuff was crazy. I can't imagine that.
Do you think they have to woo him awake? Like just like woo?
Well, probably. Yeah. Well, they probably got to shock him to get like if he actually does sleep, they probably got to shock him to wake him up.
Woo is kind of like one of those catchphrases that like it reminds me of like Chappelle joking about how like white people didn't understand skeet. Where it's like Woo was like doing a bump of cocaine and that somehow made like pop culture where it's just like woo and everybody does and it's like
it just makes you feel better when you do it. And it's made that man millions of dollars.
I know, right?
So good for him.
I mean, that was the most like everybody. Like, people were like starting drama about AEW signing or having Ric Flair for Sting's last match. But the way they signed him through Woo Energy.
Yeah.
And so like they didn't really pay Ric Flair. Like that was the worked out deal for the energy drink. That company's paying for it. So it's like they weren't really losing money on it. Like it was kind of like a win-win. Like we got an official sponsor. They're paying us a big check for that brand endorsement, and Rick comes for a couple shows.
I was gonna say, and they got Ric Flair.
Yeah. So like Tony Khan wasn't really paying Ric Flair for his appearances, is what I heard. I don't know. It's all speculation and stuff until Meltzer reports it apparently. Yeah. At least it's a TK driver now.
Oh man, I can't believe it took him 5 years to put himself in the thing. If I'm being honest, like that's a record actually. I think
Dude, his dad's response was great. His reaction, his dad sold it so well. What have you done to my son? Like
that's got to be a record for promoters starting their own thing.
Yeah,
it took him 5 years to put himself in this.
And then people already like immediately like he said he wasn't going to put himself in storylines. Like, okay, it took 5 years, and then like he did one bump. Yeah. Well, technically two.
Well, it's good.
Well, no, one was a punch, a gut punch.
It's as long as they didn't like make a Royal Rumble and win it and become champion.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the days where he wears the fucking the do-rag.
Oh no, yeah.
Remember the ECW Vince?
Oh yeah.
ECW champion Vince.
I wrestled do-rag Matt Cardona.
Oh yeah. You know all well. I was going to say, like when people like when they call you like, do you know GCW or Game Changer Wrestling? Like, is that going to be like a couple years from now going to be like that tough enough question where like when he's like, what's your favorite match? She's like Melina versus Alicia Fox. Whenever people are like, I like the Matt Cardona. That's his gimmick. That's
probably, it's good. Yeah.
Is that like the test? You're only a GCW fan because you know Matt Cardona?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, do you know anything else?
Yeah.
Name one other person. Name one person that he wrestled besides Nick Gage.
What does bussy mean to you?
That would be a good test.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I will say, like I talked about, like what do you call it? Potential, wasted potential.
Yeah.
To this day, man, I still want Janela and Sunny Kiss.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That tag team had potential. That beat, that song. I'm like, man, I don't know where Sunny Kiss went to after leaving AEW, but like,
I'm not sure. I feel
I like that dynamic. Like,
I know they were in Vegas. Not Vegas. Philadelphia. I don't know if they did the Brun. He might have did Effie's show. I don't know.
because that dynamic with Janela was great. I love them two together. Like that was
Joey's great, anyways.
Joey, yeah.
Yeah, that man, like he's so underrated. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how many people shit on him when he's actually probably top 10 wrestler.
Go watch his match with Omega
Yeah, dude, he's so good
on Dark.
because he can. Yeah, but like the thing with Joey is like he can literally have a good match with anybody.
Yeah,
Because like I had a good match with him. Him and Fuego killed it, and we're two completely different styles. He's flown off roofs.
Yeah.
Like he can do all of it. He can do all of it.
well, it's like that's kind of like the knack for a comedian I'm going to book. It's like we talked about, like where you are on the card. Just like wrestling, I say like the first match and the last match, like are the important ones. Card on a comedy show, I put my biggest stars on the first and last.
Yep.
And usually the second match or the second comic is the hardest spot to beat.
Yep.
And I really try to go out of my way to make sure I have somebody that's solid on my second spot. Because no matter how good or how bad they do on that first one, that second one's got to work on it hard.
The worst spot on a wrestling show, I feel like, is after intermission.
Oh, really?
That's the worst part. Trying to get everybody back into it after that's the worst. It's the worst because it can either go really, really well, or they're just not going to care about anything. But then you're going to the match after yours, they're going to be back into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the hardest.
Because also intermission, they got some food, so then
like it's just hard to get people back.
Trying to settle.
Yeah, it's hard to get them back into cheering and everything because they've been up and around. Yeah, it's tough.
What's that, Ninja Mac? No,
right. Yeah,
I love Ninja Mac.
Oh yeah, I just sent. He dropped a huge merch order on me. I said
nice.
It arrived in Japan a couple days ago. That's the
Well,
first
I
time
don't
I
have any
sent
shirts for you, man. But here's some stickers for you, buddy.
Oh, lit.
You got some Unloading Meat stickers.
Sweet. He made he bought a bunch of merch because I make my merch. I make merch for all the wrestlers and stuff too.
Nice.
So he bought a big order over there in Japan. He's over there still. He'll be back in the middle of June is when he comes back.
I was going to talk to that because I see you making your merch and like advertising a lot, and like again, you're an inspiration, man. You're, like I look at that stuff, I study that stuff, and like I'm looking at getting myself a t-shirt press and stuff like that too eventually because like I'm doing good orders and stuff, but it's just like eventually it's just cheaper to do it all in house.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's way better. And like I mean, because really that's the real reason that I get to not have a real job. I make way more money off the merch than I do wrestling. I only wrestle 2 or 3 times a week. I make merch every day.
Well, like, dude, like,
so that's basically my full-time job.
Like, I'm getting ready to do a contest in Granbury, Texas, in June, and like they're like, hey, downside is like we're only gonna pay each value like $40.
Yeah.
I was like, and they're like, but if you win, you get another spot and you get to be a headliner for a weekend down there with a hotel and everything. I was like, okay, well that's way down there, just 6 hours.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, I take a box full of merch down there. I don't care if it's $40. Yeah. I sell 1 or 2 T-shirts. I'm gold.
Okay, yeah.
Like I mean, that's low.
That completely changed. Once I went probably 10 or 11 years without ever having really any merch. Like I would have some sometimes, but never consistently.
Yeah.
And like that changed everything because it basically took it from just a hobby to actually like something that's like pays bills. Like so it's very important. And people like this day and age, people want to support you. Yeah. So like if you don't have anything for them to support you, then they're not able to.
Yeah.
You know?
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just the fans like they're so like, I mean the fans nowadays are so giving because like they're so kind and like just they want to support you, like they want to see you succeed and stuff because like I said, like wrestling's important and nowadays just people it's a lot easier to access the people that you're a fan of now too. It's like back in the day, if you're a fan of an actor, there's no chance you could like find any way to support them besides just maybe going to the movie. But now, like wrestlers, you can message them all. I mean, there's ways to reach out to them or whatever to support them directly. So it's
the one. There are some some blemishes on our Oklahoma, besides Trail of Tweeters and stuff like that. Black Wall Street stuff like that. But like the recent Nyla Rose shit with the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission. Mm-hmm. Man, the outcry of love for Nyla has been so great because I love that person. Like she's so inspirational. Again, she's funny as hell on Twitter and stuff like that. She's the nicest person, great with her fans, and just like the amount of shit that she got and like I was like, man, because like I want to see her on my TV more. Like she's so talented.
I caught heat with that whole situation because I'm a commission guy. Not with that part.
Yeah,
but I don't think the commission should go away. They definitely need to change their stupid ass rules.
Yeah,
but the wrestlers around here are not responsible enough to not have a commission.
Yeah.
People will get hurt.
Well, yeah, we're not getting into the politics of that shit.
Yeah.
We're just more
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
but yeah, no, they've got to change their dumbass rules. It's so dumb. It's
well,
so
and maybe it's even like the thing, like there's certain clubs and stuff that have certain rules and stuff like that. And like some comics are like, oh, I don't like this club because they say I have to keep it PG-13 or I can't do roasting. I think it like kind of inspires my creativity because like Ralphie May said it best. You can't break the rules until you understand them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Until you learn the rules, you can't think outside the box and learn how to break them and know when to break them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the art of it.
Yeah.
And, not that we're breaking rules with the Nyla Rose situation or the athletic commission, but it's just one of those things where, like, when there's structure, it kind of gives you a little credibility. Like, if you're going through that much, at least they know you're worth the shit or, like, you're trying.
Yeah.
You're putting the effort in.
Yeah.
With merch.
Oh, yeah.
If you have merch, the non, person that doesn't know Sam Stackhouse, like, hey, well, at least guys bona fide a little bit.
Well, I've told people that because there's people out here that travel every weekend and put in thousands of miles and don't tell anybody about it. And I'm like, brother, you have to, like, if people don't know about it, they're not gonna, like, if people don't know you're out here doing this, they're not gonna, like, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to let people know because, like, there's a lot of times where people, like, I've gotten a whole lot of support because people see the grind. Like, they see that I'm out here, not, like, on the weekends, I don't get to sleep on the weekends.
Yeah.
Because there's a weekend coming next weekend. I'm hitting the Denver, LA, and Phoenix loop. I'm driving all that. So I'm driving from here to Denver. And then, me and Fuego are going to drive from here to Denver. And then Fuego's got to fly from Denver to Pennsylvania and wrestle there on Saturday. And I'm going to LA to wrestle. And then he's going to fly back to Phoenix. And I'm going to drive back to Phoenix. And then we're going to do the Phoenix show on Sunday and then drive all the way back.
Damn, man.
And like, yeah. And like, just doing that, like, people don't understand how important stuff like that is too. Because, like I said, most people in this world are good, and they want to see good people succeed. They want to see people who work hard succeed. And if you don't tell people you're working hard, then like there's no, like you can't get the support. Like,
and like also be willing to put yourself out there. Just ask. Make those connections, man. Like I wouldn't have contacted Mick Foley's publicist unless I just asked.
Exactly. Yeah, and like that's especially with the like how I got I have a whole the next few months. I've got like 15 GCW shows that I'm doing, and it's literally just because I sent a message. And I was like, "Hey, can I do blah blah? Like, can I do this? And he's like, yes. And that's literally how that happened. And like, if you don't do that, and like that's a lot of my big problem about with wrestling. I don't know if it's the same with comedy or not, but like people will sit there and they'll complain on Facebook about not getting anywhere, not doing anything. But I don't see them traveling. And then there's certain people that I see traveling everywhere, but like I said, they don't tell anybody about it. And like you got to tell people, especially nowadays. Like I always compare it to, it's like now it's like being a wrestler and not using social media like as the incredible tool it is nowadays. Is like in the 80s and early 90s where I'm like, oh no, I don't send in tapes. I don't mail promoters. Like that's the same. It's the same thing. It makes no sense. Like and social media is free. You don't have to pay for postage.
No, unless Elon.
And you don't have to make videotapes. Like
I mean, if you want to get that verified mark for cheaper, for faster,
that's true. It was like $15 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't even know. That's crazy. I don't use Twitter enough to pay for it.
I do it for memes and wrestling gifts.
Yeah. Literally, all my Twitter is people fighting, wrestling, and boobs. That's all my Twitter is. That's all it is.
America.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else on there. And then sometimes it'll be combined. Like,
I know.
It'll be someone fighting and their boobs will pop out.
So I have my Instagram stuff, and I was just posting something, and my number one Instagram reel I have right now. It's so like you ever do so much work on all your content, and then like one thing that you do nothing for that pops off.
Yeah.
I just recorded the intro to Dynamite, like where that chick flashed the camera. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where he flashed her tits?
Yeah.
2 million views
on
Instagram, and it just keeps going. Like nice feed nonstop. It's just nonstop, that loop over and over.
Boobies pay.
And all I did was I just captioned. I was like, dude, did you ask consent first? Like,
Instagram is completely opposite for me. Because Instagram wants me to be somebody. Because all my Instagram reels it's all just motivation and gym stuff. That's all it is. There's very wrestling on my. For some Instagram's the only social media that wants me to do something with my life. It tries. I fight it, but it tries. Like I guarantee, if I put, it's all just like you could be the animal inside of you. That's all it is. While some dude's just lifting weights.
Just
like,
do it.
You are the lion. You have to realize your true potential.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it!
Today, no one's going to do it for you, pussy. That's all my Instagram is.
You could be like me and be a stacked house.
Yeah, see.
There you go. See, marketing.
Stack house, full house. That's dope. I got to get on that.
Yeah. International House of Sam, or no? What did I say? International Sam of Pancakes or something. I don't know. I don't know. I had it going. We'll read
I
the
get
tape.
somebody on the logo for me.
It'll go out on it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, fellow hipsters and people that have culture or something. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen, host of Unloading Meat, and we need sponsors for this show. If you identify with this fucked up hat I'm wearing, these shitty tattoos, or any other cultural references that are behind me, reach out to your favorite sponsors and tell them to sponsor the show Unloading Meat. Now, back to acting like I wasn't impressed by anything. I wish this podcast could be on vinyl.
This is my first one that's had an actual setup. And
yeah.
Everything. The other I did once, but it was just like a folding table in a garage.
Yeah, I'm sure you show we talked about the athletic commission. Showing effort will help show the thing. You have to spend money to make money.
Yep.
You have to buy merch so you can sell it. You have to flip it. I mean, everything's an investment if you treat it a certain way.
100%. Yeah.
And that's just kind of like this. So there's a certain level of authenticity and reliability, or you're coming out to Bartlesville to a stranger's house to film a project.
Well, now when you say it like that, these are things I probably should have thought about before. Yeah, right. Didn't even think about it.
Well, I always talk about. There's two comedians. One who is a burlesque clown. That was an interesting conversation, but she's great. But her and a female comedian from Oklahoma City came up here for one of my first 3 episodes. Didn't know me at all. I just put out a thing on YouTube and on Facebook. I was like, hey, I'm looking for guests. And I'll always be grateful to these 2 women who came out here on their own, all the way to Bartlesville to a complete strange man's house to record something. Yeah. And I'm like, that takes balls.
Yeah.
That's putting yourself out there.
I enjoy doing these the podcast stuff because people ask me all the time why I do them or why I do them. And I'm like, because they're like, but nobody's going to watch it or blah, blah. I'm like, it doesn't matter. If 2 or 3 people from somebody else's fan base join, find out about me or whatever, then it was worth. Because what's this take out of my day? I'm not literally all I would have been doing today was sitting at home and smoking weed and playing FIFA all day.
And I got it right here.
That's literally all I would have been doing all day.
I was gonna ask, so I always ask, my guests, you guys can drink, smoke weed. I have my weed to spit my pen here too. But I always want my guests to be comfortable. So I mean, if you want a weed, I got weed here if you want it.
That's all I would have been doing.
Yeah,
usually they're on was it Zoom or everything. So it's I don't even leave the house. So what's it hurt to and plus I tell people, no one's gonna know your story unless you tell people. No one's gonna tell my story for me. No one's gonna and there might be someone who relates to my story that's struggling, that they're on the verge of something. They're questioning whether they're gonna post this next video, and that could be the video that gets them their dreams or whatever. Well,
I mean, I always tell people everything I've done here, the back catalog. All it takes is one video for somebody for one to go in the algorithm or something like that, and then everybody's like, well, what's these other 70 plus episodes? Who's this guy? Who's this person? Who's this person? And all it takes is one, and all of a sudden it raises everybody up. And that's what I'm trying to do with my shows, my roast battles and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get them out there and just trying to build it. Do the work.
That spot I didn't even want to do, of me flying over top rope and putting that dude through the table.
Yeah,
that changed my entire life. I didn't even want to do that spot. And I was. Because there was I took a brain buster from the I was climbed up on the outside of the ring, and homie cut me off and brain busted me over the top rope to the inside. I was and it happened there was the next spot after that table spot, and I was so much more proud of it. I thought that the world was gonna fucking love that. It got 2,000 views.
Yeah,
and this other one's up to 50 million or something across all this. It made me so mad. Well, but I'm thankful.
Well, one thing I always say is people. I've had comics make fun of me because I'll go to an open mic and I record everything.
Yeah.
I just always have my camera out. I record every match, every set I do. I record, I study it, and I never know when I'm gonna have a good crowd reaction or something's gonna be a good clip.
Yeah.
And there's people who are like, well, I'm not gonna go to this open mic because it's Bricktown comedy and there's not gonna be a lot of crowd. I'm like, but the footage will look good.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, you see a big sign that says Bricktown comedy behind you. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people in that crowd. The footage is worth something. You can clip that a certain way, put it on TikTok, put it on Shorts. You get a good reaction. You can make it work. I mean, I'm sure wrestling shows you have 50 people.
I've had a top 5. I've had a top 5 match that I would rank of my favorite matches was in front of 9 people.
There you go.
But it was one of my favorite. It was top 5 favorite match I've ever had.
But were those 9 people into it?
Oh yeah, they were,
Yeah.
and like it was fantastic, and like those 9 people sounded like 100. They were so like it was
Yeah.
like so it was awesome, and I got a bunch of clips out of it.
Yeah. Everything's clips for me.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah,
everything's like saving that footage.
I tell people I wrestle for pops and clips. That's all I get. That's all I care.
I like that.
Pops and clips.
That's the name of the episode right there, ladies and gentlemen.
If I can pop the crowd a couple times and I can get a few clips I can post during the week, then it was worth it for me. I'm good to go.
'Cause-
maybe sell a couple things. I'm good.
Well,
Good.
again, rounding it back to doing a whole callback. It's all about making memories
It
and
is,
making
it is,
moments.
yeah.
And whether it be the merchandise that you're selling for them, or the spot that they remember, or just like even if it's not the spot, like you said, it's the emotion that you got out of them and the
or just
connection,
the interactions.
Yeah,
like that's and I try to like I've like I said, but that Mick Foley thing I learned a lot. So at the merch table, I hate when I go to a show and you'll see the wrestlers at there. Like half the time you can't even get them out to the merch table. But when they're at the merch table, they're just like sitting down and they're on their phones and stuff. I'm like, what is that doing? Like, if it was reversed and you're like going to a WWE show or something like that, and you walk up on John Cena and he's sitting here on his phone, how's that gonna make you feel?
Yeah.
Not very good. No. Not very good.
No.
So like,
plus you're gonna be looking down so you can see the bald spot.
Well, that too. Yeah. Well, that's not the. Well, I mean, I'm in the same boat as John Cena. That's why I got the man bun.
Jorts can't hide that.
Sir, got the man bun. The man bun covers it up well. But it was like I tried to like it's every interaction is important. Everything we like. It may seem like when you're a young wrestler, like it just seems like you're doing moves, and it took me a long time to learn that too. But like everything we do is like your interactions from social media, Facebook, Twitter, all of them. And like when you see people in person to when you're leaving the show, if a fan comes up to you at like I live in Sapulpa.
Yeah.
I used to wrestle every single week in Sapulpa. I can't go to I've not been able to go to Walmart one time the past few years without someone so like, oh snap, and like and I go to this little gas station, a pop shop right next to me. Every time I go up there, someone talks about wrestling, and I talk and I take the time to do it every single time, even because that's important because like all it like it's I try to find the words for it. Like what we do is anything. Well, it's not even just what we do. Anything that someone does that brings joy to somebody else or like means something to somebody else that automatically makes it important.
Yeah.
So and I feel like I'm not gonna say we have like a responsibility. Like I'm not trying to be over dramatic or anything, but like I personally feel like I have a responsibility to not let anyone down that like looks up to me or anything like that. So like, and if they're, and I know like I'm not the most extroverted person. So like if I've paid to go see somebody or something like that, and I walked up to them and they were on their phone, I know how that would make me feel.
Yeah. So
and I don't want to do that to anybody. And like if there's any wrestlers watching this, or I mean comedians, y'all do meet and greets and everything like that. All that stuff's important. It's not
posing for the pictures after the show, like
exactly.
that stuff. Like, it matters.
Yeah, it does. Because like I mean, just think like you may only look at that picture one time when they tag you in it, but that stays on their. That's probably gonna stay on their phone forever. They might just be walking through that a couple years from now, and they're like, "Oh, shoot, I remember that night I went to that comedy show. That was awesome." Or I remember the time with that wrestling. Like all that stuff's important.
Well, I mean, everything I say on stage. I mean, every joke, every line, every story. If I have somebody come up after the show and say anything, it just like you with like a move.
Yep.
No one's gonna be like, man, that fucking kick you did was awesome. They may say that, but like the way you made them feel,
exactly.
That's what they remember, and that's the memory.
Because it may be the move that triggered it, but but now anytime they see that move, they'll remember that feeling, and that's what's important. That's
because we're all building nostalgia. We're all I mean, nostalgia is the number one thing that's been weaponized now in Hollywood and everything now.
Yeah, it's because people love. I mean, like we as humans, that's the only thing that sets us apart is like humans' ability to love things.
Yeah.
And we love things a lot.
Yeah.
So like it's just, like I don't know where I was going with that, but
no,
it's all
right.
important.
Everything's member berries.
It is 100%. Because like I specifically remember the first time I went to a local wrestling show, and I was yelling at the dude, and he told me to shut up. And I remember the fear that it put in me, but then I was like, that was because like he wasn't just like he didn't tell the whole crowd to shut up.
Yeah.
Like I remember my little like 9 or 10-year-old self, I specifically remember him looking into my eyes, specifically at me and telling me to shut up. And that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I still remember that. I remember the exact way it made me feel, and I was hooked like that. That's like stuff like that. And you never know, like somebody in the crowd like popped a young John Cena and made him, or a young Roman Reigns. Like there was somebody who did that for like the people who are doing that for people now.
Yeah.
There was someone who did that for them. And like it's always been my dream for one day for like someone to look like I just randomly find somebody saying like, oh, I went to this show in like 2020 and saw Sam Stackhouse.
Yeah.
And like that'd be dope.
What's other people like the failed? Did you see like people like MJF at the Punk signings, stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
and Bailey
yeah.
and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I saw that the ref recently, the lady ref from WWE. There was like a picture of her meeting like Walter and all kinds of stuff back in the day, and then she was and then there was one where she was meeting Cody and stuff, and then she refed him and AJ in the main event.
Nice.
So that like stuff like I love stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, even stuff like
They got Kevin Owens in the in the background shot of one of the Manias or whatever. Like
and then I also remember like
stuff,
what was the one that was it had Shayna Baszler and Jungle Boy in the front row back in the day.
I think there was even one with Edge that like had Edge and Christian in the background or something like that, and then they end up that's so
Edge was
so
at
crazy.
Mania in Toronto.
Yeah, that's so
he remembers.
crazy. Yeah, that's so wild
with his freaking mullet.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's that proves how important. Like I mean, well, like I said, it's not even just like this is super more important than anything else. It just proves that like all it takes to make something important is for people to enjoy it, and millions of people enjoy wrestling.
I just want to get to the day and age where we can just universally be like, yeah, he went by Edge, it's Cope now,
right?
Or like, can we just stop? Like, we get it, like, because like there's so many times.
Always call him Edge.
I know. Even Taz drops it every occasionally on commentary. He slips it says Edge.
Yeah. I'm never gonna say Adam Copeland.
I do love that he's kind of like he learned it or he knew it. So like he's trying to. He even said on the last interview he did with Renee that he wants to transition just to Cope.
Yeah,
and just call it Cope because it counts. It's close to Edge.
I think it's a little too late for
him
to be trying to change his name.
I know. At 50-something years
Yeah,
old, he can still go.
Right. Well, I watched his. Like Chris. Have you watched Chris Van Vliet?
Yeah,
I watched his interview with Edge, and it was from just a couple weeks ago. It was dope. I was watching him and Ivar. Ivar's on the way here. That was cool because I've never seen Ivar do an interview before, and that was this first time. It was good. It was pretty.
I didn't watch it. I saw the little tagline about it, like he like not liking the Vikings name and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Viking experience.
Yeah, the Viking. Oh god.
But they were only the Viking experience for like 3 days, so
yeah,
because everybody realized that was a horrible idea.
Can you imagine if they got the sword instead of fucking Drew McIntyre?
Oh my goodness, the Viking experience. He's like, we're not a freaking carnival ride.
If Vince just saw him for like 1 second more, and it was like, you need to get them the sword.
Well, the funniest like the it's such a Vince thing too, because he said that all they were told was that they had to be Ivar and Eric, but they didn't care which one was which or whatever. And like I guess the dude or Todd who ended up being Ivar, I guess his brother in real life name is Eric spelled Erik, so he's like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm Ivar. But it's such a Vince thing. He's like I don't care which one of you is which, but this is what you are. Just I like Vikings right now. I saw a TV show the other day. It was hilarious. I love it.
You couldn't even go further. Like, at least do like the FTR bald, FTR hair. That's what everybody calls it on.
They brought that. I think they'll go back. I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to end up going back to WWE.
I mean, I think it's going to go back and forth. It's healthy.
Yeah,
it's going to be best for the business.
I don't care what anybody says. If you are a professional wrestler, your dream is to wrestle at WWE.
Yeah.
I don't care where you came from or how you can do all these interviews and say that they would never go there or anything like that. But I guarantee you, if Triple H called them, they would be on the first flight to Orlando immediately.
Yeah.
Or wherever they're at now.
Yeah.
But it's so I think a lot of people end up going back. Plus, there's just a few people I'd like to go back because I would like to see them retire and like just have their like last match in WWE or like at a big at the big
parties.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that they'll go back.
Yeah,
because I imagine Matt's just waiting on Jeff to get done. Huh?
Yeah,
because Jeff ain't even been on TV in a minute.
No, because he got injured with Sammy Guevara.
I thought he's been on there since then.
I thought he's been on
like once or twice.
I don't know. It was like because Sammy's been quote unquote suspended or whatever.
He's just been traveling the world.
Yeah, he's been traveling the world. Yeah. Dude, his vlogs are great. Oh, yeah. They're so clickbait too. Like where I've been or I've been gone for so long, and it's just him and his wife and his girl.
Oh yeah, they're just out hanging. I mean, they're just living the dream.
Dude, that's another inspiration, man. Like
I get to hear a lot about him too. Cause that's Fuego. Yeah. So they're boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm proud. I mean, that dude deserves it too because he's worked. Sammy Guevara's worked it real hard too.
Dude, that's another one that from the Sammy vlogs with Fuego and Griff Garrison and Alan Angels and stuff like that. Like COVID era stuff too. Like they made the best out of a shitty situation.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Fuego's always like he's been popular on YouTube since he was because he used to do the backyard wrestling and stuff and that. And like he has millions of views from his backyard days.
Yeah.
So like he was making an income on YouTube before he's done with high school or anything. So he's always been good at all that stuff. So.
Yeah, and like that's the things where like even whenever he was not re-signed or whatever the phrasing was, like that he's gonna land on his feet. Like he's talented.
Sure. Yeah. He's
like,
great.
Dude, just fucking talented.
Oh yeah, he can. Yeah, he's great, and he's
you can just
smart.
see it.
Like he's smart. Plus he's just he's a good dude. So he's gonna be successful. He's gonna land on it. Yeah, he's gonna.
And not that we're doxing him, but he's like in the Ardmore area, right?
Yeah. Well, no, he lives Sulphur, where the tornado happened.
Yeah,
like he lives in Sulphur, and like because he's like I say it because he's public. Like he told because he made a post about everything they do, because he got lucky because his house didn't get destroyed. But like that whole town got blown away, and somehow his house was spared. So he got extremely lucky. So
that's how we were like 2 weeks ago with the Barnsdall. Barnsdall got destroyed.
Yes, I was seeing on my way here. I was seeing all the trees and all the stuff. I was like, oh my gosh.
The only thing
was like a huge ass tree just. I was like, oh.
The only thing that sucked is in Bartlesville there was one spot that got damaged. It was where there's a hotel on Tuxedo, and there was a place called Gans Mall. It's like an antiques, like kind of like flea market thing.
Well, I know there's a car dealership. Is there a car dealership right there? I know because my buddy, his parents own.
Oh yeah, across the street. Yeah.
There's a wrestler, Riker. He's a wrestler. His parents own that.
Oh really?
That car dealership. Yeah, because he was sending me pictures and stuff, and it got pretty jacked up too.
I was just mad because like out of all Bartlesville, got pretty much untouched except for that one little section. Yeah. Like I had a booth at that Gans Mall thing, and I was selling merch, and I was selling like old figures and stuff like that, and like that's what was part of my income. Yeah. And I'm like, out of all of Bartlesville, that's the building that they tear the fucking roof off of. They tore the whole roof off of the building.
It's an outside flea market.
Yeah.
Inside, outside.
I was great because I was just selling old wrestling shirts stuff there and stuff like that. I was making, it's steady income.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like my booth was on the wall, and so like when they tore the whole roof off, everything flooded in, but my booth was completely untouched. I was like, yes.
Well, at least you got lucky on that part.
None of my stuff got ruined.
Yeah, this weather has been I saw something today that said we've already had like 700 something tornadoes or some crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that even possible?
It is the worst year to put out that movie Twisters.
Like, yeah, for real.
It's coming out next month or July.
We're like 3 weeks into tornado season, and it's already been freaking insane.
That was the funniest part. Like, I hate to say it because people lost their lives and stuff and their stuff, but like literally, like that Monday night was when the tornado hit in Barnsdall. Tuesday they dropped the new trailer for Twisters.
That's crazy.
And it's filmed in Oklahoma, and it's all about Oklahoma tornadoes.
Man, but I tell you what, these people are troopers though, because me and my wife are into homesteading and stuff, so I follow a bunch of like homesteaders on YouTube. Yeah. And some of them live out in Sulphur. And these people, like the next morning, they're just waking up and just starting to pick. I'm like, brother, I'm gonna need a couple of days to like process what the hell just happened. Like if my living room's outside now, I'm gonna need some time, but they're already in the bulldozers, just already doing.
It's like in another life they're Amish. Yeah, like they were just like they're just like build another barn.
Y'all built different, bro. Because I would need a couple days to like be like, damn.
Well, I'm glad that you specified that he's in Sulphur because like like working at T-Mobile, there was a store in Ardmore I was over.
Yeah, well, he used to work in Ardmore, but it's only like it's like a 30-minute. Drive or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Ardmore, I was gonna give him shit because like Ardmore is literally like they just have a casino and a prison, and then a whole bunch of fast food.
Yep.
Like it's just like this tea that the Ardmore makes, and there's just nothing but fast food. Like I've never seen more fast food per like capita or per square inch in a town. Like everything you could possibly think of is like right on this little spot in Ardmore.
Like our fast food around here.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, the only thing that rivals it now is we're in Oklahoma. So like there's more dispensaries than there are like churches and Starbucks combined now.
A lot. Yeah, I saw something that there's more dispensaries here than Washington, California, and Colorado combined.
Yep.
And I was like, I thought those were like the main like. But I tell you, I am way disappointed in Colorado with their weed, even though I want to live there.
Okay.
I have decided, me and my wife both have decided that I'm retiring to Colorado. Putting that on the record right now. I will be retiring to a mountain town in Colorado.
Quiet little mountain town.
Yep, a mountain town. That, like we found some that like the promoter out there. He was telling me about some that like still work on like the barter system and stuff. So like people will grow weed or they'll grow fruits and vegetables, and like people who retire that used to be plumbers or electricians, they'll just do all those services.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm like, that's my dream life right there.
And then one husband for all the women. No, just kidding. Took it too far.
Well, that's going to be the mountain town I start on my own. In Utah, where it's Utah or Idaho, where you can have like 18 wives. I think it's Utah, right?
I don't know, but you're probably going to still have to get two seats on the American Airlines flight there.
Hey, shout out Southwest. Y'all want to sponsor the big boy? I only fly Southwest.
Well, Southwest was the one that had the Kevin Smith fiasco back in the day.
What happened?
They said Kevin Smith was too fat to fly.
That's insane because they call it the customer of size policy.
Yeah.
This is where my sponsorship with them is going to go away because I call it the fat fuck policy.
Yeah.
But it's the best thing that's ever been made in my life. Like I show up there. They give me my second seat for free. They let my big ass on the plane like plane first. Like it's fantastic.
Well, like I'm sure you could relate to this. Okay, so every time I'm getting ready to walk on a plane, there's two types of stewardesses or flight attendants.
yeah.
There's the ones that see fat guy coming and they immediately get the extender ready.
Yep.
And they're doing just like, hey, how you doing? Nice.
Oh, yeah,
It's just part of their day. Like,
and the ones that make you ask for it.
or the ones that are like, like, oh, I don't want to make them feel ashamed about it and make you ask for it. That's worse.
Well,
that's so much worse.
Like, it's so crazy because the only thing I will say against them is they try to use shame to get you to not use it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, if you want to use customer size policy or whatever, so that people don't see or like, I don't know how they word it on their website or whatever, but it's basically in case you're embarrassed about. I'm like, brother, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I enjoy the fact that all those people have to be in that line and watch my fat ass get on this plane first for no reason other than they don't make me pay for the second seat because like how the thing works is like you can buy the second seat if you're going like a busy place or whatever, but then like as soon as you land, they refund you for the second seat, or you can just show up and they'll just give it to you for free. I always but yeah, Southwest. Sponsor you boys.
I just call them non-sexual boners.
Yeah.
I have the same thing when I go through the Taco Bell drive-through line and I have I order ahead and the line's like wrapping around the Taco Bell. Then they have that one that's just for like the pre-orders and you can just skip the whole line. I'm like, yep, non-sexual boner.
Little things.
Non-sexual boner.
Little things in life, you know. Oh yeah, I love when they're like they call for or they tell people to line up by their numbers.
Yeah.
And there's just this long ass line of like 200 people.
Yeah.
And like pre-board, and I just walk up like, boop, and then I'm half the time I'm already asleep before the plane is even loaded up. So it's fantastic.
It's great.
And Southwest, like they fly out of like the smaller airports too, so it's not as like wild. Because like I don't have to go to that big ass Dallas airport. They go to Dallas Love Field.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to the big ass Houston airport. They go to the other one. They go like the biggest airport I go to is Denver, but they have their own like wing. So as like I don't know why people have so much trouble with airports unless you like flying different airlines.
Only the Atlanta airport.
Well, I hear that one. That one's like isn't that like one of the busiest ones?
Yeah, I got trapped in it once.
Oh Jesus. That's Delta's port, or not port, but like they're like hub. That's what they call them, right?
Yeah.
If you take a Delta flight, you always go to Atlanta.
Yeah, I had a flight that was supposed to go from Tulsa to Houston for T-Mobile, and they said, okay, you're gonna do a layover in Atlanta.
Oh.
So to save money. So we went there, and it was like the week they had tornadoes, and so like all the flights were just delayed because they had to cancel a whole many. So we get there, and our next flight was at 11 p.m. to go to Houston, and we get there, and it's like 10:30, and we get there, and there's just 3,000 people trapped in the Atlanta airport.
Oh my
and they closed all the restaurants, they closed all the stuff.
No way.
And they canceled all flights. There's no out flights. And then that's one of those airports where you have to take a shuttle underground and then come out to the baggage claim and stuff. It's like a little like like a little like train. And you get there and it was like a baggage claim that's like the size of a small Walmart. And it just as far as the eye could see, you can just see baggage overflowing, just pouring out and just going on the ground.
That's terrible.
Just mixing up and just people are crying in the corners.
I bet, dude, that's so
it
crazy.
was so traumatic. I was so freaked out.
Look, I've been delayed a couple times, but not anything crazy making me like.
I had to like we called and got a rental car from our company, and as soon as we got up to the rental car place, they already gave it away within 5 minutes. And then we had to get another one, and then I got a hotel at 3 a.m. and we get there and drive and take an Uber there, and they go, oh well, this is for 3 p.m. not 3 a.m. so you can't stay here, and so we had to take an Uber to another hotel, and then I ended up just driving cross country from Atlanta to Tulsa back because the girl that I was with, all of her meds were in her luggage, and she was having withdrawals.
I bet. Yeah,
and it was starting to like have spasms and stuff like that. And I was like, I gotta get her back to Tulsa now.
Yeah.
So I just drove her back cross country.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Thanks, Atlanta Airport.
I've been extremely lucky. I haven't had to deal with very many delays. Like there's been a few. Like I got home from Denver. Well, it actually worked out because I was gonna have like an hour and a half layover. So my layover just got. By the time I landed, I only had 5 minutes to get from one plane to the other. Yeah. So it just ate up my whole hour and a half layover. But it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I mean, I know it just happens because of the computer system and stuff like that. But like when you like get there and it's like, oh, well, you only have like 30 minutes to get here. Well, I'm not making that. There's just no way.
It is funny you brought up the two different kinds of flight attendants because that is legitimately true.
Yeah,
like some of them are happy they'll just have it waiting on me, and then other people they'll try to do like the drug dealer handshake with me. I'm like, brother, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not like I can't hide it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm skinny, I swear.
It's like this is a weight extender. It's not a modesty belt.
Yeah, like I don't care at all. Like I'm not like I've been almost bare ass naked in front of people. Like I'm not embarrassed about my size. Like I don't care.
Well, it's like I learned to embrace it with my comedy because
Well, that's because it's the whole fat dude thing. If you don't make fun of it, they're going to. So you might as well do it
that's
first.
how, and growing up fat, you had to do it.
Oh, for sure.
That's where my humor came from.
Yeah, that used to be the first thing I just pointed out to get it out. Because I the only thing I use it for is I like to make people feel awkward sometimes. Like, but I only do it if they're being weird about it. Like if they're like secretly trying to feel bad for me or like I'm like, brother, it's not that big. It's not that serious.
Well, it's like one of my clip that I have a set where I send it into conventions and stuff like that, just for like tapes. It's one where it was during Christmas and I had a green hoodie on and I had a crop top underneath it that just said the word hoe on it.
Hell yeah.
And like halfway through I said, it's getting hot, so I took it off. And it just said hoe on it. I go, I couldn't afford a shirt big enough to fit the other hose.
That's a good joke.
And that worked. And then I just started doing crowd work because this lady in the front row was just eating nachos. And so I just like walk up and go, well, how are you doing? What do you want to talk about? And I'm just making it awkward. And she's looking right at my gut. And then I just do the dodgeball thing where I start playing with my belly button.
Get in there all deep.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, what do you want to talk about? Oh, you just eating nachos? And I'm just making it so uncomfortable. But I submit that because like it's crowd work and people are like, it's uncomfortable. And then I end up eating a nacho. She gives me a nacho. I'm like, hey.
That's one of my absolute favorite things about wrestling, that like it gives me one of them non-sexual boners.
Yeah. There you go.
Like being like, it's so crazy how
in SBs.
You got the crowd in the palm of your hand, because like if I'm a bad guy, if I'm a heel, I'm the fattest, grossest thing they've ever seen in their entire life.
Yeah.
If I'm a good guy, if I take my shirt off, that crowd goes fucking crazy. They're whistling and like throwing dollar bills and everything. If it's so great how it's opposite. It just depends on it.
Yeah.
If I tell them to shut up and I take my shirt off, I'm gross and the fattest piece of shit I've ever seen in life. But if I'm like, come on, and I take my shirt off, they're like, it's wild. It's one of my favorite things.
Again, I take notes on everything, but like the most random note I ever got. This is gonna blow your mind probably. There's a video of a dude that goes to like different SPCAs and just sits with dogs, and just like damaged dogs and just tries to get them out of their shells and stuff and see if they'll get adopted.
Yeah.
He spends like 20 minutes with them, puts a video out, and is like, if I can get them out of their shell, maybe they'll get adopted.
Yeah.
And there was this dog named Venom, and all he did was change her name to Honey. And it completely changed her demeanor and everything. And he was like, well, because when you think about it, it's like, hey, here's my dog Venom. What's people's reactions?
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Here's my dog Honey. What do they say? Oh, nice to meet you, Honey, and stuff like that. Yeah. The name means everything. And as soon as he started calling her Honey, within 15 minutes, he had her ears perking up. She was eating out of his hand. And for 10 days, that dog sat in the back of the corner, did nothing. It was going to be killed.
Yep.
And as like, I always remember that as like name means something, like just the way the tone happens, how you present stuff matters everything.
Yeah, especially with stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was watching this other thing about dogs too the other day, about how like it's all the people around them.
Yeah.
Because like they're one of the best like species at picking up on energy or whatever. So
Yeah.
if you're a dick, they're going to be a dick probably.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Well, that's why they're so therapeutic too. Because like if you're having a bad day or something like that, a dog will pick you up.
Oh,
like,
100%. Yeah.
A cat will say, "Go fuck yourself." Like,
see, that's crazy because the promoter in Denver almost has me like, he's got a cat and I love that cat. And it's crazy. He got that cat in college.
Yeah.
And like I guess some chick he was seeing brought the cat over one day, and then she just never came back. And he's had that cat for like 19 years or something like that. And it's the coolest cat. Like it's so chill.
See, I'm allergic to cats. So, that's my thing. I'm deadly allergic to cats.
That cat's chill. Like I've never been a cat person.
I can acknowledge them. They're my tribal cat.
We got a couple dogs at the house. I wanted little tiny dogs, and we got a black lab named Morty. He's gigantic. Like when we got him, he was like his whole body was this big, but his head was 75% of that. And now it's just a big ass body attached to that. His head's still gigantic and his paws are huge. He's a sweetheart. We've had him for probably 7, 8 years now. He's getting to be an old man. He got gray hairs. And then we got Lucy, and she's a pit husky mix.
Nice.
And we got her because my buddy's wife posted on Facebook that the neighbor's about to shoot this dog. So I drove like 2 hours out there to get this dog. And it was also happened because we went to PetSmart and we saw this basset hound named Lucy, and then we were going to adopt her and everything. But then we got a call saying that the dog had heartworm, so they were sending her to the farm or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that. They're like, no,
bye, Lucy.
It's a rehabilitation center. I was like, okay. And then like a
where
week
she
later,
can run all day on the farm.
Yeah. A week later, I saw that post, and then now we have Lucy the pit. I wish if she was a girl or a boy dog, it was going to be Snitsky the Pitsky. but because it's
It wasn't his
Husky
fault?
mix. But yeah, I was
Just
so
don't bring that dog
'cause
around babies.
when I was getting there, yeah, like when I was getting there, the whole time I was praying that they were wrong and it was a boy dog. I was like, please be a boy dog, please be a boy dog.
Or
And
people
it's a
named
girl
Lita.
dog. Yeah. Oof, yikes! I'm gonna make a baby and kick it. Yeah, I saw something about him the other day.
The dude that
like-
permanently dyed his teeth yellow.
Yeah, where he was wrestling again.
Yeah, he did come back out, didn't he?
Because it was like Mike. I think him and Mike Knox are like tagging together or something like that.
That's all you need is Heidenreich.
crazy.
All you need is Heidenreich.
Dang, I need to look him up. I haven't thought about him in forever.
Member of LOD, man.
Yeah, whatever happened to Heidenreich?
Besides raping Michael Cole,
We were talking about.
that's a cut. Like that's up there with Katie Vick.
Yeah, oof.
The Heidenreich pinning Michael Cole to a wall and sexually assaulting him
that was
allegedly.
so crazy. With his red gloves just pressed up against him. Oh, could you imagine?
Like, what was Vince's? I mean, I know he loved it. Like, JR
Well, I
got
think
humiliated
we all
so
know
much.
what Vince was like, he was just getting his little rocks off
Yeah.
on that one.
Like Dr.
Luckily, he didn't have
Heine,
anybody poop on anybody.
Dr.
That's
Heine with JR with his colonoscopy.
See, so I guess maybe he did.
Yeah, he
All
did that
I'm saying-
live.
All I'm saying, okay, like Vince is obviously a freak, but I think more who needs to be investigated more is like massage therapists or whatever who kept going after that old man pooped everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's the man who needs to be investigated because like that's weird. Like it's
So what we're trying to say on Unloading Me is know your limits.
yeah, like it's weird to be having a threesome with an old ass man. Anyways, that's weird.
Yeah,
But then this man
throw Lesnar in the mix.
this man poos and he's like, just nah, Vince, you go shower off. I'll hold it down here. What? Like that man needs to be investigated.
Do you think Brock Lesnar has condoms sponsored by Death Clutch?
Oh my god, yo, that's crazy. He didn't even go though. Like, can you imagine if he made that trip? Like, at least the plane got canceled or whatever. And he didn't go do it.
Imagine if Lesnar had Death Clutch fleshlights. Death Clutch. That just
I'm surprised with the way Vince liked to name his dildos. They didn't get into the sex toy game.
Well, you didn't think a guy with a giant
making-
T-Rex fossil behind him
just making
was
molds
on the up and
of
up?
like actual. Like, what if they made molds of actual wrestlers' wings? That'd be wild.
I just love how everything that goes with the Vince stories now is just what happened with like the Harvey Weinstein stuff like 10 years ago.
It is, yeah.
Where it's like everybody's like, yeah, we were friends.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Oh yeah, Vince, he's a guy.
We didn't condone any of this.
Yeah, because all the podcasts are like, oh yeah, Vince, he existed. What's the? Just go right on to the next thing. That's wild because like in my mind, like it's real hard for me kind of because in my mind, Vince McMahon created professional wrestling.
Yeah,
I know that he didn't create it, but like what we know of professional wrestling is today, Vince McMahon created that, and there's no way to like pretend that he didn't or like forget that, and it's just hard because he's gross.
Yeah. Well, maybe we just need to round it back. Do like we did with the whole Hulk Hogan Terry Bollea thing. That was Terry that said that stuff.
I guess so.
This was Vince McMahon Jr. that said this.
That was Vince McMahon, not Vincent McMahon.
The guy that kind of like Trump got a small loan from his father for $1 million or
just
something.
got a small loan for $1 million. It's fine.
There's no reason that Trump's in the Hall of Fame because they're so similar.
Let me get a small loan. Oh, dude.
We're going on a weird rant. I mean, the thing about non-sexual boners with people of our size, they're never half chub.
Yeah, there's not.
They're always a full chub. We only go full chub.
I can tuck it up into my waistband.
There we go.
No, that is a good compare. Or good, like I'm gonna have to steal that because that is how that makes me feel when all those people have to watch me get on that plane.
Yeah,
I'm hard.
The more you know.
Yeah, that is good. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, there's two things. I have non-sexual boners when that shit happens, and then I have a game that I play that you can. I really want everybody to play. It could be a thing. It's called Decisions Were Made. Decisions Were Made.
I say that all the time though.
That's what you do at every Walmart, Target, anything. Go to any random aisle, and like my favorite is like when you go to like the tampon pad aisle, and then like there's a case of beer just sitting there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's like decisions were made.
Yeah, my wife literally says that all the time.
Yeah,
we'll be in like the toothbrush aisle, and there'll be like a fucking pack of steak.
Yeah, decisions were made. That's the game. Just play that game, and you'll be entertained for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the old game of like you get a fortune cookie. You said add the words "in bed" at the end. Yep. Just one of those things. Decisions were made.
I love those Facebook ones where they're like ruin a movie by adding in bed or whatever.
Yeah.
Or moist to, or adding moist to it or something like that. I love those things.
Yeah, I like the ones that are like make it sexy, and people were like Shawshank Redemption. I'm like, well, that was all dudes.
Yeah,
just introduce one female.
Yeah.
I mean, she won't have a good. Well, maybe.
I mean, yeah, who knows?
I mean, but she gets Morgan Freeman first.
Yikes! What didn't he get in trouble? Someone was telling Morgan Freeman.
What?
Yeah, someone was telling me he got
Too
in
many
trouble. It broke
freckles?
my heart. No, someone saying like
That's fucking horrible.
yeah, I don't know. Someone told me he got in trouble. It broke my heart. I was like, no, because I brought it up because my wife graduated from massage tech school like last week, and somebody got walked across the stage and their name was Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
and I was like, what? I was like, he's here.
Sam.
Right? Yeah, like that was dope.
I'm at this university.
Dang, that's pretty good.
I mean, I do voice acting a little bit. I got like I'm on Fiverr for Mickey and a couple others. Like, I have people. My like gigs right now are basically people paying me to do Mickey voicemails for their kids when they're taking to Disneyland.
That is dope as fuck.
Yeah. So I'm just like, hi there. Oh boy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm a mimic. I kind of have that thing where it's like if I hear it enough, I can kind of mimic it. But like I can only do a lot of stuff like that. But mostly it's like singing mimic. Like I can't do a lot of South Park characters.
Yeah.
But if I listen to like the bigger, longer like soundtrack, I can do the songs.
Oh yeah.
Like it's easy.
I need to watch. I haven't watched that
Planning
movie
to
in
change
years.
your life today.
That sounds pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's just one of those things. Like I have to watch it around Asian restaurants.
For sure. Yeah. Yo, I
sound so racist.
Problem. I have such a hard problem not like if someone talks to me with an accent.
Yeah.
I
morph.
It's almost just like instinct that I like say thank you in their accent, and I'm just like, oh.
So like there's a place in Bartlesville that's called Szechuan. It's an old school place, Chinese place. I've had it since I was like 5. Because like to this day, if I ever get sick, my mom used to always bring me egg drop soup.
Yeah. Oh,
so to this day, when I'm sick, I want their egg drop soup.
Yeah.
Plus, you can get it for cheap. Like
Oh,
that's the hack. If you have a local Chinese place and you're sick, egg drop soup is like $2 for like a gallon.
Yeah. I love egg drop soup.
Me too, obviously. But like, I call all the like, fuck it. Let's just see if she does it. If a white person answers this phone, I'm gonna be dying. I'm gonna be so mad.
So I'm like, hello.
Let's see if it says. If a white person answers, I'll be so mad.
Calling Chinese restaurant. We're currently closed.
Oh yeah, because they're open. It's 3:00. They open for the lunch and then they open for dinner. But when she answers, she's like, and like she just goes right in it. That's just how she goes. That's just like if you talk to her name's Amy for years. I can understand it. I can talk to her.
Is it Amy?
No. It's something that after a lot of different consonants, I want to go bless you. Gesundheit, she's German.
I feel like we really do have like the easiest language because there's no way because like what Japanese don't they have like 3 different alphabets and stuff you have to learn to know the whole language? Because Ninja Mac was telling me about it because he was trying to learn them all. They have 3 different alphabets.
Yeah,
we have one with 26 letters. It's not that hard. They have 3 different alphabets you have to know, and the language changes from where you are in the country.
Yeah,
like
they don't even get started on China with Mandarin and stuff like that.
I can't
and then you got to figure out which language actually recognizes Taiwan.
I cannot imagine, dude.
John Cena's apology tour was so great for that. That apology video was so good. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Oh yeah.
He's apologizing full Mandarin.
你好，中国，这是叫西娜。我必须说，现在，在《速度与激情》中，我做很多采访，很多，所以在一个采访，我有一个错误，所有人问我，如果我可以用中文，速度与激情中人给我很多资讯 information。所以很多采访，很多 information，我有一个错误，我必须说现在就是很重要，我爱更尊重中国跟中国人，我很抱歉对我的错误，对不起，我很抱歉，你必须了解，我。很爱，很尊重中国跟中国人，不好意思，再见。
Hey.
Just for saying the first stop was the country of Taiwan on the Fast and the Furious tour.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
That's not a country, bro.
Yeah.
What was he? John Cena.
You think he would have known not to break kayfabe?
Jeez, John Cena. Come on, John.
Taiwanese kayfabe.
No, I just hope to be half of what John Cena is one day.
Yeah.
Like just like
you already got the ball patch.
That's true. I'm working on it. Have you watched his interviews? Like he just seems like he just.
I follow him on Twitter every day because he has the most inspirational Twitter. I know it's somebody on his crew doing it, but like
he's like another one that just I don't understand how he's a real person.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how he has enough time in his day to like interact with that many people and still like.
I mean, I do have a John Cena action figure.
I just finished watching that.
I love Peacemaker.
Hilarious.
He taught himself piano to play that.
I don't know how they got away with 85% of the things they did in that.
But that's him actually playing Home Sweet Home.
That's crazy.
He taught himself, and it's actually a single on Spotify. John Cena's Home Sweet Home.
Do they have an Eagly figure?
Not yet, but I have some Funko Pops over there with him.
If they got an Eagly figure.
Like you didn't see it over there. I have a movie theater over there for my living room.
I was seeing the posters. That's dope.
That's my next set. I want to have like some. I'm launching a thing this month called because I'm trying to get Tulsa up. I'm trying to build it here because like I have 2 girls here, 2 divorces. Not that I'm stuck here, but like until my kids are 18, my base is here. So I want to build a hub here and then go tour.
That's smart.
So like I'm gonna launch Tulsa Comics React, and it's just a simple name. I got the YouTube handle, and it's just us reacting to pop culture shit and stuff like that, and just bringing in multiple guests, and just trying to bring that up and bring people in weekly. Just launching different things, man.
That's cool.
Just trying.
No, that's all. That's
just trying.
Yeah, because you never know what's gonna take off.
Just trying.
Especially React stuff. That gets over these.
Because like you've seen like this podcast, I've had like 70-something episodes, but I've had you're my first wrestler. I've had some musicians. I've had live performances in here. I've had comedians, actors, and it's just one of those things where like I never wanted to label it as a wrestling podcast or a action figure podcast. This is more just to break down the barriers. So we're like the first half hour or so, we're usually just talking about this shit.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a huge conversation. I mean,
I like,
walked in.
There's something relatable here for everybody.
Yeah.
And like usually that breaks down the barriers to where you're not focused on the lights and the cameras, and we're just having a good conversation. Like we've been going for almost 3 hours now, well 2.5, and it doesn't feel like it because it's just.
I definitely forgot that you had like multiple cameras and stuff until you just now mentioned it again.
Yeah. It's weird, right?
This is cool.
Well, it's like I also try to downplay how much work I do on this stuff.
Oh,
but I never want people to be like, "Oh, that's a cool podcast because he does it all himself."
Yeah.
I don't want an asterisk on my shit.
Yeah.
I just want it to be that's a cool show.
Yeah.
And
that's
if they go through the levels and they see like, oh, there's a lot of work into it he's doing, that's more appreciation, I think.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The people that want to go that level can do it, but otherwise, surface level, they're just going to appreciate the show.
That's where I lack because I can't do all the editing stuff. I get bored. I got the ADD, so I can't stay focused.
Well, if you ever need an editor, let me know.
I'm thinking. Believe me, I will.
I'm also one of those guys too. I just like to help out the community. Like I want to feel like I want everybody to grow.
Yeah,
like
that's fantastic. There's not a lot of people like that nowadays.
Well, like I said, like 15 years ago, when I thought I was banned from Looney Bin, that was it. There was nothing.
Oh yeah.
And I was devastated. I was a kid. I still have it. I have Looney Bin cups.
Yep.
Because I wasn't 21, so I couldn't drink, and there was a 2-drink minimum. So they made me drink like Red Bulls or drinks there, and so I collected those as cups as a souvenir. Like this is every time I went to an open mic, and then I got banned, and I had nothing. So when I wanted to go back into comedy and stuff, I was like, I gotta build a base. I gotta build this podcast. I gotta build a brand to where if that ever happened again, nobody could take it away from me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I kind of learned from that because also like T-Mobile, Bartlesville didn't have a T-Mobile in this area. So they put one in here. I built that store. I floored it. I painted it. I dressed and dyed my hair pink, wore pink kicks. I was Mr. Magenta in Bartlesville. I marketed myself like that. And even like going around Walmart, I wore pink 24/7. And everybody knew me as Mr. Magenta in Bartlesville. And then I got let go of COVID. And I had no identity in that store. I had nothing to show for it. That store wasn't mine. And I was like, I can't do that again. So, I had to build this. And I'm proud of it, man. It's coming a long way.
It should be, yeah. Yeah, I gotta do that too. Cause like I don't know. I literally can't tell you what I would do if I all of a sudden could not wrestle. I don't know what I would do.
I'm sad we didn't even get to use the.
Oh, you used it.
There we go. I feel used. Well, man, Sam Stackhouse, thank you so much, champ, for being here. Multi-time champ, 4-time champ.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Almost. I almost got.
Oh, there you go.
Almost.
Well, can you tell my audience in this camera right here where everybody can find the great Sam Stackhouse? This one right here.
Oh, there
this is your cam.
Yo, yeah, you can find me on. It's the Sam Stackhouse on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. I got a website in the works now. It's thesamstackhouse.net.
There you go.
It is samstackhouse.net. Just kidding. Boom. Yeah, and you can find me on there. I make merch. You need stickers, rolling trays, lighters, all that kind of jazz. I make all that, beanies. getting into T-shirts now, so that's
Nice.
going to be cool. You can catch me at a lot of upcoming GCW shows. Yeah, you can catch me all over the place. We're out here working. We're trying to get on TV, trying to take care of this family, doing something I love. And I appreciate anybody who watches this, anybody who supported me, anybody support my man over here. Like this is all cool. This is really cool. Keep watching this podcast.
Thanks, man.
This is super dope. It's really super dope. Like I said, it's my first show that I've done. Like I've done probably 100 of these, but this first one that like had a whole little setup, and like you can tell that you're doing this thing serious, and all the ideas you have to help other people out and stuff. Like it's fantastic.
Well, thanks, man. That means a lot. Like I said, you're a true inspiration, not just because husky, but
that doesn't hurt though.
No, we got those seatbelt extenders already pre-installed.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I also think now I have this conspiracy that they don't want the biggins in the back of the plane, because I experimented with sitting, because normally I always take like the first, like depending on what kind of plane I'm on.
Yeah.
Because one of the planes, like the first row, the things don't go up, so I can't sit in that one, so I gotta sit in the second row. But if it's the other plane, I sit in the front. But I experimented this last trip, sit in the back, and I was 2 for 2 of the flight attendants trying to like semi-talk me out of sitting in the back seat, because one of them was like, it's the narrowest seat, and the other lady was like, it doesn't go back, and I'm a lean back girl. I was like, homie, it's an hour and 4-minute flight. So if my next flight, I'm gonna test it again. And if I go 3 for 3, I'm just gonna ask him, like, is this not safe for me? Like, just let me know.
I'm not Baloo. This is not Tailspin.
Like I know how Southwest likes to beat around the bush, so they're trying to be nice, but they're like, we don't want y'all back here. Just let me know. I'll waddle my ass right back to the front of the plane.
Put me on the front. I'll hold the black box.
Yeah, her name's
Vanessa.
I'm trying to go first anyways. I don't want to be in the back and just see see the flames coming. I'm trying to just be done, saying anyway. So just send me back in the front. I don't know why I got off on that.
It's all right.
My bad. that reminded me of that. Yeah.
I just always think of the Rick and Morty thing where the plane crashed. I don't know. Yeah, Rick and Morty.
Oh,
yeah. Your dog's Morty.
My dog's Morty. Yeah.
I mean, I have a Mr. Meeseeks right here.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
You gotta relax.
That's dope.
Yeah, I always think of the Eric Clapton song, like the way that you use it, and then like that whole plane crash and like that scene. Oh, that's a good.
Yeah. Like, is it like they're afraid that the tail's gonna hit the ground when we land? If my fat ass is back, like, what are we doing here?
Watch Final Destination 1 once.
Ugh.
There was no fat people on that movie.
Not at all. I don't like
that. Should have been the reboot. That's gonna be the reboot.
Yeah.
Final Destination is just gonna be us going on Southwest.
Yo, no bullshit. I went to the airport on last Friday in Tulsa. I went to the airport. I got there. I was a little late. But they bumped me to a later flight, so I went back home. And when I came back, that was already sketched to me, but I had also partaken a little bit. So I get back to this airplane, and I'm getting on the airplane. And like, first off, I see this like dude in a pilot uniform, like kind of walk behind everybody to get in the door. And I was like, that was weird. But I was like, I'm tripping. Then I get on the plane and I proceed to watch the entire Tulsa soccer team walk by me and get on this plane. And I was like, brother, I've seen this movie. You know how many soccer teams have died on airplanes? Like an alarming amount of soccer teams have died on airplanes.
I don't know. I'm only on season 1 of Wexham.
It's an alarming amount, okay? Like, it's a noticeable amount of soccer teams throughout
whatever the Ryan Reynolds soccer show is.
Like, have died on airplanes. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, this son of a bitch is going down, bro.
That's just like when you get on the highway and you see like a log truck. You're like, nope.
Yeah, my wife
Final Destination 2 ruined it.
Yeah, she's like, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was freaking out on. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'm about to be fine. And then like, it also freaked me out too, because like, I went home and I was like laying down. But like, I don't remember if I ever actually like fell asleep, but I kind of feel like I did. So I was like, I don't even know if I'm like back home still, and I'm about to wake up, and then I'm like I was waiting to wake up. It was.
I mean, we could go back to like, as another big guy on planes. That little like fan that you can direct to you, a little bitty like that little like pubic hair of wind that comes at you.
Luckily, I set up pretty tall, so I get a little bit of it. But I can't imagine being like low in the seat, because that thing's just like, it's like, I swear they just have a bunch of like little people up in the thing just blowing.
It's like, for how expensive these planes are and how expensive the travel is, you get inside and everything's designed by Dollar Tree.
It's made out of plastic. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I mean, I guess it makes sense because like everything. Because I was literally thinking about that when I got on that plane last time. because like I was feeling around like everything's just like plastic, and I was like, why? And I was like, well, I guess they want everything to be light as possible so they can fit as many people on that plane. But still, I was like, ugh.
They're just ripping shit out for fucking people because Americans start getting fatter and fatter.
Yeah, like they say these planes cost like $60 million a piece or 100, whatever they are, millions and millions of dollars a piece. Like you think they could like
thanks Boeing
put a real air conditioner in here. Bro, and that's another bad thing. Is Southwest only uses Boeings, and they're like just breaking all kinds of things now or whatever. So I'm gonna get sucked out the side of one of those pretty.
You know, there's some redneck from Oklahoma that's outside there just being like, should have been a V8.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, that thing got a Hemi in it.
Should have been an Airbus.
That's the other thing. We can wrap it up here.
Right.
My car, you saw my car out there. It's a V6 for gas mileage stuff like that. I had a Hemi before that on a car, but I got that one. The amount of dudes that just like judge you up and down, like just for what car you drive, is amazing. It's just like you stop and they're like, "That got the V8 in it?" And I'm like, "No." And they're just like, "Well, you're just the devil." Like,
I know nothing about cars.
I don't know much about them either.
If someone said that to me, I'd have been like, "Sure."
The weirdest one I ever had, I had cat calls for my car.
Oh.
I went through a Wendy's drive-through, and this Wendy's employee was walking out, and he saw my car through the drive-through, and he doubled back. He did step back, and he goes, and he was kissing my car, and I was just like,
"Yo,
I've never felt more violated in my life, but also more seen."
My car, my choice. Goddamn
it. You think I'd be able to dodge that because it's a
well, that Challenger was too tough for you.
That's true. Just like the air shuttle. That was a real Challenger.
Oh, it was, boy.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw the worst thing about that is that they didn't even die from the explosion. They died from hitting the ground.
Yeah.
So they were just alive falling from space. Oh my, how shitty is that?
Partially crispy.
You're like living your best, like this is the best day of your life. You're going to freaking space and then all of a sudden you're just falling down. Ugh.
I just hope one day that can happen for Jeff Bezos' dick rocket.
Right?
Just let him be in there. For real. And then I'll get Prime one day.
Although I do enjoy that shipping. Though.
Yeah, that's true.
I ordered sticker paper yesterday, and it was at my house 4 hours later. 4 hours later it took. I was like, what is this sorcery?
It's like
I live in a small town, too, and it took them 4 hours to bring me paper.
It's like when you order DoorDash, something like that, and you order like, the Chinese place. I'm like, how long will it be? That'll be 15 minutes. I'm like, that's not even fast to preheat the oven. Like, what the fuck? Man.
I don't know how people did it, but like, I mean, obviously they didn't know any better, but I don't know how people lived. Not comfortably. I know that much.
Well, I mean, I can kind of round it up here. We talked earlier about how like there's more dispensaries here per capita than like Starbucks and like churches now. I don't know. Compare that to what was I just had the thought. I just popped out of my head.
Which is wild that there dispensaries beating churches in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, just compare that to how many Mexican restaurants there are. Because like every town, there's like maybe one or two fast food, and then there's like 20 Mexican restaurants.
We have a building in Sapulpa that's been 6 different Mexican restaurants since I've lived there. And it was a Sam's Italian, or not Italian, but Sam's Eatery or the Cajun place once. See? And the rest of it's been El Tequila, El Tequilo, like Pablo's or something. Like it's been all different kinds. All different.
That's
names.
the most depressing one in Broken Arrow. There's a abandoned Long John Silver's that was turned into a Sam's Southern Eatery, and then that got closed too. And so both of those fish places didn't work out there, but I guarantee if you go in there, you'll get crabs.
Yikes.
I mean, I'm just going to say, I love Mexican food. I love Mexican restaurants, but you're a Tulsa guy. You can't fuck with us when we're raised on Casa Bonita.
Oh, man.
Okay.
The little flag. Bro.
Yeah. You were just in Colorado. It's back open.
Is it?
Matt and Trey bought it.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know.
You got to reserve your name on a list. You get on a list, and then they tell you when it's available.
17-year wait list, probably.
It's a pretty long one. But the only South Park thing in it is they have one replica Cartman that's like life size, and he's sitting at like one of the princess tables like from the episode for his birthday.
I knew about Casa Bonita before I knew what South Park was.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going for Casa Bonita, not South Park.
Dude, I have so many memories. I mean, this X-Men display that already fell down is from their X-Men cabinet because they had the X-Men arcade back in the day, and they had the Simpsons one, and I played that at Casa Bonita. In between, where'd you sit? Did you sit in the cave?
This whole section right here is Casa Bonita.
Were you a cave guy or a waterfall guy?
I cave all the way. Oh,
yeah.
I like to cave. I was just about to say that because there was like one part where I'd have to like squeeze through it. It made me feel like I was like a real cave person or whatever. It was dope.
And then they had like that weird like red cinnamon apple thing.
Things that went across the.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was like the marionettes that like going across on the high wire or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, like we had the ghetto ones because apparently in Colorado they had live trapeze artists and live like cave divers. So like we were watching puppets going across these tight ropes,
because they would just go across and it would go backwards.
Yeah.
And then it would go back. I feel cheated
they have
now.
full on cave divers there 24/7 now that do that stuff, and they have a magic show. I mean, we had a magic show back in the day too, but it was like just buy these little toys.
I've been going to Colorado a lot. And plus, like I said, me and my wife have definitely. I think
There you go.
we've agreed that I'm retiring in Colorado.
There you go, man.
That place is fantastic.
Rocky Mountain High.
Have you seen the views and stuff there?
No.
These people just walk out of their houses and see this crazy stuff. Just going to Walmart and it's like boom, mountains. My bad.
That's good.
And I kept forgetting. And yeah, it's crazy. My bad.
That's good. That's good. I mean, as opposed to my dramatic view, it's just nothing but Trump flags that are all different years. 23, 24, 25.
23, yeah, Oklahoma, baby.
They're just like, one of these years will be good for us.
I saw one in we were at the promoter stopped at the place. They sell these like air tanks at the gas station for like, I almost said foreigners, but like out of towners or what, like the people aren't used to the elevation or whatever. Yeah. And he was going to get one of those, and like this big old like lifted up truck that had like 2 flags sticking out the side and one in the middle, and it was all trumped out. And that was in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So Jesus. It ain't just here. Just in the middle of the dang parking lot, just black smoke going everywhere. And I was like, oh my.
Did you see the mailers that they were sending? Oh, we're getting political, but like somebody, I don't know if I screenshot it, but it was so fucked up that I was just at
that point, I don't even care what your views are, but if you like something enough to be that big of a jackass about it, I automatically don't like it.
Yeah. You're taking your gimmick way too far.
You could be advocating to cure cancer, and a part of me would be against it if you acted that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
See, this is the mark of a good conversation because we can just keep rambling. We can keep talking. I just feel my stomach pains.
Well, I'll let you know.
That was good. Well, Sam, thank you so much for being here. This is an awesome experience. Been a great friendship, I think, we struck up. And I look forward to seeing what you do next, man. The next GCW shows, whatever shows you're going for. You got 4 titles to defend. Man, you're on a roll, man. And let me know how it goes in Arizona, man, with Fuego and stuff, man. That's awesome, man. And Fuego, you got an open invite, too. I'd love to have you on here, dude, bro. Too, bro.
I'll talk to him.
Fuego's cool, man. Again, inspirations, man. Sammy, people like that. My first inspiration in anything, I'll end with here, was like Ethan Page did Bert Kreischer's podcast.
I didn't even know that. That's
back when he was at Impact.
Wow.
Long time ago when he was a tag team champion with Josh Alexander, the North.
Dang.
He went on Bert Kreischer's podcast, and they didn't know each other at all. And this is early Bert, too. This is like...
they've both gotten a lot more...
This was like 2018, 2019.
Wow.
And it's a almost 2-hour interview. And it's so... Bert knows nothing about wrestling. Ethan Page is just promoting Impact. And he's like the perfect company guy. Doing a great interview. This is before his vlog and stuff. Like,
look that up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, and I was like, that stuck with me since that time. I was an Ethan Page guy. And so, like, I hope something like that happens with you. Like, even my small audience. Like, if somebody sees this podcast... Make a Sam Stackhouse fan.
Hope so, yes, sir.
But man, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thanks for having me.
Guys, follow Sam Stackhouse.
We finally got to do it. Like we scheduled it 18 times.
Hey man, I reached out to you whenever you blew up with that GCW clip and stuff like that. And like I said that to some friends. I was like, as soon as I reached out to him, I was like, I know he's probably blowing up too because he's going to Mania weekend and stuff like that
too. So
yeah,
it's been a rough few months, but I'm back at it. So
I was trying to be patient, but also know that we're all business people. We all got shit coming up, and we all got families too. So like, I won't be pushy whenever you got make time for me, man. I'm grateful.
I appreciate that. I'm glad I finally came out.
Yeah, man. Well, guys, this has been Unloading Meat. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. That's Sam Stackhouse. Peace.
Unloading the meat. 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 I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is.
Bye. Have a great time.